Chapter 5:32. The snake monster's request is very simple. It helps her achieve her wish. After she gets out of Secret Land, she needs to collect 12 jade plates for it. Bai Ji is skeptical and she doesn't say everything. However, the snake monster intercepts the message sent by Yi Zhao. It takes Bai Ji to ambush on the way. White Fairy passes through the ambush circle and loses her life inexplicably. White Fairy has a treasure of Misty Peak with her. That's why she is lucky enough to escape from the snake monster's eyes. The snake monster gives Bai Ji a spirit fruit with a strange appearance, indicating that she can achieve her wish after swallowing it. Bai Ji looks at the intact body of her school sister. She is shocked that she actually puts her thoughts into action. And what the snake demon meant was for her to take over his body. If she wants to replace her school sister, the most convenient and reliable way is naturally to live as Bai Qingxue. Bai Ji and her school sister get along day and night. She almost knows everything about her, including her habits and behaviors. However, from now on, she will give up the name Bai Ji and spend her life acting as Bai Qingxue. Bai Ji hesitates as soon as she calms down. The snake monster looks at her with a faint smile. It feels that the human race is really strange. She has worked so hard to do something. If she hesitates at the last moment, it can't find the primordial spirit of the female chi trainer. Besides, how can she easily regret making a deal with a monster Bai Ji has cultivated for hundreds of years? Naturally, she is not a naive girl. There is no turning back. She takes the fruit and her primordial spirit fluctuates. She seems to soar to a height of 10,000 meters. When she wakes up again, she is already attached to Bai Qingxue's gathering vitality. Bai Ji's body withers quickly. The fruit makes her and her school sister's gathering vitality perfectly fit. However, it takes away the vitality of flesh and blood in a very domineering way. There is no turning back in this life. After all, Bai Ji is in the early period of gathering vitality. It is very difficult for her to control the late period of gathering vitality. Possession is against nature and personal ability enhancement. Although Bai Ji's primordial spirit fits the new body perfectly, her realm eventually falls. White Fairy's gathering vitality in the late period can't be kept. She almost falls below the gathering vitality period. Yi Zhao receives the message and rushes over. White Fairy looks sad. She and her school sister Bai Ji mistakenly entered the territory of a powerful monster. She was injured and her level dropped. In order to create a chance for her to escape, Bai Ji died on the spot. She didn't even bring her body out. Yi Zhao rarely sees White Fairy being so fragile. He feels a little grateful to Bai Ji, who he looked down on before. Lin Luoran feels a little regretful that he can't sneak in, but he still takes White Fairy out of Secret Land first. White Fairy's power has plummeted, so her plan to sneak into the world of heaven naturally cannot be carried out. Bai Ji imitates White Fairy's every move vividly, but the special feeling between lovers disappears. Mr. Wuye is very meticulous. He always feels that White Fairy has an indescribable sense of strangeness after being injured. He probes her several times, but Bai Ji doesn't give herself away. Yi Zhao suppressed his doubts and looked for good medicine for Bai Ji. At that time, Zhu Mountain was very powerful. It had 5 of the 12 jade plates, and the other 7 were scattered among various schools. It was extremely difficult for Misty Peak to collect them. Bai Ji occupied the body of a sparrow. The snake monster had a backup plan for her possession. For cultivators, 100 years passed in a flash. When the next secret land is opened, she must collect 12 jade plates and give them to the snake monster. Fortunately, as Bai Ji's personal ability recovers, Yi Zhao has the idea of sneaking to the world of heaven again. This time, he doesn't want anything to happen. He collects 12 jade plates with both carrot and stick, preparing to leave the opportunity of opening Secret Land to Zhu Mountain. If Zhu Mountain cultivators don't work together, they can't reach the center. No matter whether his plan is successful or not, Zhu Mountain cultivators can observe it on the spot. They can also gain experience or take warning. White Fairy's level dropped because of Bai Ji's possession. Yi Zhao has been suppressing his divinization for 100 years. Heaven's doom is full of variables. This time, he can only choose to sneak into the space node. 12 jade plates are gathered together after Zhu Mountain makes some concessions and compensations. As the opening date of Bermuda is approaching, Yi Zhao suddenly proposes to hold a wedding with Bai Ji. Yi Zhao has a cold temperament. He has not been very close to Bai Ji in the past 100 years. At this time, he suddenly says that he wants to hold a wedding. Bai Ji is a little nervous, but she readily agrees after hearing that the wedding will invite all the famous orthodox schools and individual cultivators in the world of cultivation. In the beautiful spring, the wedding is held in the beautiful and lively Zhu Mountain. When Yi Zhao personally inserts the sword of bright snow into her hair, he swears by the devil inside that as long as his primordial spirit doesn't disappear, he will never betray Bai Qingxue. Bai Ji has been White Fairy for so many years. At that moment, she is so happy that she feels dizzy. She firmly believes that she is Bai Qingxue. Zhu Mountain is lively for 3 days before the wedding banquet ends. However, it is said that gathering vitality cultivators have disappeared one after another in the world of cultivation. Yi Zhao wants to check it, but the secret land of Bermuda is about to open. He can't wait for another 100 years. On the night of the wedding, thunder rumbles and lightning flashes in Zhu Mountain. Bai Ji waits for Yi Zhao in white. According to the tradition of Huaxia for thousands of years, white is forbidden in weddings. The shyness on Bai Ji's face condenses. Yi Zhao stares at her for a long time. The next moment, Bai Ji sees Yi Zhao smile for the first time. Mr. Wuye is cold in speech and heart. He is a famous cold-faced person in the world of cultivation. She has seen him smile before, but she thinks that the faint and almost imperceptible smile belongs to her school sister. Since she occupied the nest, it is the first time that Yi Zhao smiles at her. This smile is so sincere. The immortal like Yi Zhao is enough to make flowers bloom in Bai Ji's state of gathering vitality. However, the smile stops abruptly at the most intense moment. Bai Ji. Yi Zhao seems to have some evidence. He stares at her eyes with extreme certainty and adds, "Where did you take your school sister?" 1 second, she is still in spring. The next moment, a basin of cold water pours on Bai Ji's heart. "School sister, I'm fine." Of course, Bai Qingxue doesn't have a school sister, but Bai Ji does. Yi Zhao sees all her facial expressions at that moment. He is more and more sure of his guess. "Bai Ji, tell me, what did you do to your school sister?" Bai Ji wants to refute, but Yi Zhao never changes his mind. She thinks for a long time but doesn't know where she gave herself away. Yi Zhao gently spits out a name. It is the daughter of the elder of Zhu Mountain School who Bai Ji was good friends with. After Bai Ji occupied the nest, she doesn't dare to let Yi Zhao see her real body. However, the daughter of the elder of Zhu Mountain School regards Bai Ji as a real friend. She is very sad for her death. Bai Ji is afraid that the truth will be exposed. Naturally, she will no longer contact her former friend. However, she has been traveling between Zhu Mountain School and Misty Peak. She has been acting cautiously in front of Yi Zhao for a long time. It is inevitable that she will be careless on other occasions. Her former friend has seen her inadvertent little tricks several times in a row. They are very similar to Bai Ji, who is said to have died in the Lost Land. Bai Ji feels guilty for occupying the dove's nest. Few people in Misty Peak mention Bai Ji. Everyone in the world of cultivation knows how much White Fairy loved her little school sister. Bai Ji died to save her, but she is not sad. The daughter of Elder Qiao never thinks that Bai Ji occupied the nest. She simply thinks that the death of Bai Ji has something to do with White Fairy. White Fairy is the only one who can find out the truth and get justice for her friend. She is investigating White Fairy, but Yi Zhao doesn't understand it either. The two forces surging in the dark of Zhu Mountain School collide. Comparing the two, how can Yi Zhao still not understand the truth? 100 years ago, what he brought back from the Lost Land was not his beloved Taoist companion, but Bai Ji who had evil intentions. Bai Ji died because of the fall of the realm. The person who really died is Qingxue. Yi Zhao is powerful, but he can't bear this kind of blow in a short time. In order to send the injured Bai Qingxue to the upper land safely, he stayed in the human world for more than 100 years. It becomes extremely ridiculous. The anger of being deceived and the pain of losing his lover make Yi Zhao decide to hold this wedding. A cold-hearted person has no bottom line when he is heartless. Bai Zhi wants the identity of Bai Qingxue and Mr. Wuye's Taoist companion, so he pushes her to the highest point. The wedding of the head of Zhu Mountain School in the world of cultivation invites guests from all over the world. Yi Zhao regards the wedding as a gift for the real Bai Qingxue in his heart, so he is very serious in the preparation. The world of cultivation only thinks that this couple finally has a happy ending. He also only thinks that the person beside him is Qingxue. After the wedding, Yi Zhao changes out of the red dress and reveals his true colors to Bai Zhi in a white dress. The daytime is still the happiest moment for Bai Zhi. The vanity of congratulating from all over the world pushes Bai Zhi to the highest point of her life. However, he wants to pull her down from the highest point and make her fall into the mire. Yi Zhao's narration is calm, but Bai Zhi feels cold after listening to it. Bai Zhi has seen the strong contrast between Yi Zhao's indifference to others and his gentleness to White Fairy. When she belonged to the category of others, she hated his coldness. When she became the White Fairy, his indifference to others made her feel more proud of Yi Zhao's warmth. She never knows that in addition to indifference, Mr. Wuye can be cruel. He can kill a person without any bloodshed. He can completely destroy a person's heart. Yes, Yi Zhao is not only a genius in cultivation, but he can also be selected as the new head of Zhu Mountain School. If he doesn't have courage, how can he manage such a huge Zhu Mountain School? Yi Zhao's courage is that he can calmly give up the opportunity to ascend to immortality and take Bai Qingxue to the upper land. His courage can make him stay for his Taoist companion for 100 years because he is strong. This man looks cold but has a strong heart. Is he really not someone she can covet? But why can Bai Qingxue get him? Bai Zhi can't suppress her crazy smile. School sister, I died 100 years ago. Yi Zhao, what's the use of inviting all the people in the world of cultivation to watch the wedding? School sister can't come back. The one holding the wedding with you is always me, Bai Zhi. It's the expected answer. Yi Zhao doesn't get angry but smiles coldly. Bai Zhi, don't you understand? I marry Bai Qingxue. The entire world of cultivation is a witness. Qingxue is dead, and you will accompany her. The only thing I don't understand is that with your personal ability in the early stage of gathering vitality, how can you succeed in possession? But I will find the answer myself. Yi Zhao still refuses to ascend to immortality. Although it is dangerous to go through doom, in terms of personal ability, he can actually be regarded as the first person in the world of cultivation. He wants to deal with Bai Zhi. The method of extracting her soul makes Bai Zhi's expression change greatly. The pain of the primordial spirit being torn is thousands of times clearer than the pain added to the physical body. Bai Zhi is in so much pain that she wants to die. With the state of mind of gathering vitality, she also wants to destroy her primordial spirit. Yi Zhao pulls out her primordial spirit and traps it with a group of strange fire. Bai Qingxue's current situation is very strange. She has a heartbeat and pulse. Her blood flows as usual, but she has no soul. She is a real living dead. He wants to find out the truth, but he also hopes for the 1 in 10,000 chance of survival. He personally goes to the extreme north and takes the warm ice jade, which is like a crystal. It can keep the body from decaying for thousands of years. He makes it into a crystal coffin and places Bai Qingxue's body in it. Gathering vitality cultivators who come to the world of cultivation disappear one after another. Although the storm has not affected Zhu Mountain, Yi Zhao doesn't know what the road to the secret land will be like. In order to leave a way for Zhu Mountain, he embroidered the general instruction of Zhu Mountain's sword on Bai Qingxue's dust-proof treasure dress. Within a month, the world of cultivation spread the news that the new wife of the head of Zhu Mountain, White Fairy, the Misty Peaks Palace Lord, had a problem during cultivation. She was seriously injured and couldn't be cured. Head Yi personally invites the elites of the school to enter the secret land to seek medicine for White Fairy. Zhu Mountain sword cultivators come out in full strength. They fly to the Sea of Bermuda on their swords. Yi Zhao opens the secret land with 12 jade plates in his hand. He places the coffin containing White Fairy's body in the underwater palace. He plants all kinds of famous lotuses in the world for her. He hopes that the fragrance of lotuses will accompany her every day. One day, she may have a chance to wake up and see the best scenery at first sight. Yi Zhao surrounded Bai Zhi's primordial spirit with strange fire and also placed it in the underground mausoleum. He will not let Bai Zhi go easily. He also wants to find out the force behind Bai Zhi. Only in this way he may have a chance to find Bai Qingshue's primordial spirit. Yi Zhao's arrangement is perfect. Except for Bai Qingxue and Zhu Mountain, no one can enter the underground palace. 2 wooden Pishio are the mausoleum guarding beasts he arranged. 12 jade plates are gathered. How can the snake monster not feel it? Not only it, but many grand monsters in the secret land were also alarmed. However, the power of Zhu Mountain made all the grand monsters whose strength was in a slump had to stay away. It was extremely difficult to snatch the jade plate from Yi Zhao. The snake monster has a lot of evil ideas. It probably guesses that these human chi trainers come out in large numbers for the primordial spirit that it shattered 100 years ago. This makes the snake monster very upset. It is just a human female cultivator. If it had known that she is so important, it would have caught her at that time. It is 1,000 times faster than playing games with Bai Zhi. However, time can't be reversed. The underground mausoleum where White Fairy's body is placed is a mausoleum guarding beast of the Taoist master Taoism of the human race. It can't get in, so it can only secretly follow Zhu Mountain with other powerful monsters. It runs through most of the Lost Land, hoping to find a chance to kill them. 1 month is about to pass. Yi Zhao is frightened by the monsters chasing closely behind him. He can't figure out who killed Bai Qingxue. Time waits for no man. He can only hope that Bai Qingshue's primordial spirit can return to her body one day. The unexpected event happened one afternoon. Swordsmen reacted one after another. They felt a huge pulling force affecting them. They even couldn't control their flying swords well. The force is huge, soft, but unquestionable. It is going to suck them into the sky. Yi Zhao is secretly shocked. He remembers the crazy disappearance of gathering vitality cultivators in the world of personal ability. He doesn't know the relationship between the two. A colorful halo appears in the sky, and the space crack suddenly appears. Even the monsters following far away are shocked. Zhu Mountain immortals of sword resist this huge force one after another. The flying swords are gradually broken. However, they are sucked into the crack under Yi Zhao's eyes and disappear. Yi Zhao's personal ability is the highest. He can barely compete with the suction. In a hurry, he only has time to grab the nearest Zhu Mountain disciple next to him. Before he can do any rescue action, Yi Zhao's expression has changed greatly. Competing with the huge force reveals his true strength. The divinization doom he has delayed for a long time comes without any warning. He forces himself to calm down. Before the monsters come up to grab the jade plates because they are afraid of heaven's doom, he gives all the 12 jade plates to the surviving Zhu Mountain disciple. He only has time to say, "Underwater mausoleum," and then he is kicked out of secret land. The Zhu Mountain disciple leaves with the jade plates. Mr. Wuye becomes the first cultivator to cross the divinization doom in secret land. All the monsters are stunned. Did he cross the doom? Bai Zhi's primordial spirit is trapped in the underground palace and suffering from the burning fire. She doesn't know what happened to Yi Zhao and others in secret land. She can tell so much because the snake monster adds speculation. This love and hate story has lasted for thousands of years. Even Lin Luoran is fascinated by it. However, at the most critical moment, the snake monster's story stops abruptly. White Fairy's mind is disturbed and she asks unconsciously. Time is the best way to cover up the truth. The whole thing is complicated. It can be regarded as a 1,000-year puzzle of the world of cultivation. If it weren't for the narration of the 2 people involved, White Fairy would never know the truth in her life. She once suspected that her Taoist partner betrayed her. When she met the Sword Tomb, she was worried that Yi Zhao would have an accident. Suddenly, she heard that Yi Zhao had the divinization doom at that time. White Fairy's heart even ignites hope. Her desire for Yi Zhao's whereabouts even makes her temporarily forget that the enemy who caused her to end up today is in front of her. What she wants to know most is whether Yi Zhao succeeded in crossing the doom that day. The snake monster laughs proudly. Obviously, it doesn't want to tell White Fairy what happened next. Bai Ji says bitterly, Yi Zhao was meticulous, but he didn't expect that he harmed the swordsman of Zhu Mountain School. He also faced the divinization doom and didn't know whether he could survive or not. It's ridiculous that he still took the trouble to build this extremely solid crystal coffin that can only be exited but not entered. As expected, your primordial spirit came. However, you can't leave this mausoleum today. So, you contacted the double-headed snake. It should be more than 300 years ago when Guanjing and I opened the mausoleum on our own, right? Lin Luoran sighs. Bai Ji laughs happily. People who think they are smart are always divided into groups. Bai Qingxue also asked you to temporarily seal the wooden picio, didn't she? Thanks to you guys, I can get out of the confinement of the crystal coffin. Bai Qingxue, the wooden picio is indeed set up for me, but it is to guard against me. You are too smart for your own good. You finally taste the taste of failure. No, you completely lost more than 1,000 years ago. White Fairy is so angry that she is about to fall. She barely controls her emotions and shouts, Bai Ji, I call you school sister for the last time. Tell me, has Yi Zhao passed the doom successfully? Bai Ji just smiles. Lin Luoran feels that her brain has been abnormal since more than 1,000 years ago. Lin Luoran doesn't place any hope on her. Instead, she looks at the snake monster. You waited so long just to let us know the truth. The snake monster smiles mysteriously. Shoo, don't worry. It should be here soon. Chapter 5:33. A huge force hits the top of the mausoleum, and tiny cracks appear on the solid dome of the mausoleum. In a moment, the mausoleum will be broken and the river will destroy it in an instant. The double-headed snake snorts coldly. It swings its long tail and swims out first. Before leaving, it doesn't forget to roll up the defenseless Mu Tianan with its tail. Bai Ji stomps her feet and follows the double-headed snake. Lin Luoran and White Fairy look at each other. They can't figure out what the snake is playing. However, it is true that the mausoleum is attacked by a third party. They have to leave as soon as possible. In a hurry, Lin Luoran puts the entire crystal coffin into space. The body of White Fairy lies in it. She can't leave it in the mausoleum with rocks. White Fairy nods at her with gratitude in her eyes. When Lin Luoran and White Fairy get out of the mausoleum and break out of the water, a pair of eyes are always staring at her. It seems to confirm that she is still safe, and the intimidating pressure instantly converges. The double-headed snake throws Mu Tianan on the rocky beach of the river. It has returned to its original appearance. Its thick and long snake body is like a small hill. Confronting the double-headed snake is a huge tortoise. The tortoise is also an old acquaintance of Lin Luoran. When she came to the secret land of Bermuda for the first time, she had a glimpse of it in the depths of the sea. The second time she entered the secret land, she was also attracted by it. The earth element is boundless. It may not be a sea turtle, but a mutant of the earth element. The tortoise doesn't mean to hurt her, and its eyes also make Lin Luoran feel inexplicably intimate. In such a confrontation, she stands behind the tortoise with White Fairy without hesitation. Facing this move, the tortoise's eyes are full of praise, and its face becomes soft. The double-headed snake's tail beats the ground in a strange rhythm. You really came? The big turtle ignored it, and the double-headed snake continued to say, It said that gathering 12 jade plates can free us prisoners. Without your permission, who doesn't know that it's a joke? The Lost Land opens once every 100 years. During this month, the strength of the demon race has been reduced to the lowest level. You don't have a good time either, do you? In the past years, you could freely enter and exit the Lost Land. Every time you didn't hide, the monsters who wanted to trouble you couldn't do anything. However, as soon as I saw that bead, I knew that you would not avoid it this time. Black Tortoise, am I right? You're a lackey of the human race and a traitor of the demon race. This big turtle is a black turtle. Is it here to help me enter the secret realm? Lin Luoran feels a little weird. Maybe it's because of the bead on her wrist. As the wearer, she can not only cause the crisis like the fake saintess and the snake monster scheme because of the bead, but also get the blessing of Black Tortoise's help. Is it because of the previous owner of the beads? Except for the spiritual mind meeting and peeping in dreams, Lin Luoran has never really seen Momo. However, Momo's shadow is everywhere on her path of personal ability enhancement. Her feelings were complicated. She was an independent individual and did not want to live forever under the shadow of Momo. Even if it was a beautiful and cheerful little girl, it was not her. The double-headed snake seems to see through Lin Luoran's thoughts. Its two snake heads intertwined, and it said in a bewitching tone, "Female chi trainer, don't think that this damn turtle is here to save you. It is here to save the bead. You don't know that it followed that human girl at that time. It was 100 times more flattering than you." Lin Luoran frowns. Sure enough, it is still because of Momo. Is it also because of Momo that it keeps a souvenir for her robe that always responds to her? Lin Luoran suddenly feels that her life has fallen into some kind of illusion. The little girl named Momo seems to have arranged her life many years ago. Then who knows whether Momo is manipulating her words and deeds now? Don't listen to it. Spirit treasure in the world, even if it is as precious as the bead, is also a dead thing. I come to help you just because of you. Little girl, you are a person worthy of help. Black Tortoise spoke for the first time. It was as mellow and gentle as Lin Luoran imagined. It soothed Lin Luoran's self-denial and restless state of mind. White Fairy didn't know the cause of the matter. She nodded. You are indeed a rare fool in the world of cultivation. However, if I could choose, I would rather a fool like you be my sister. People who were too smart were either good or evil. Lin Luoran's character hit a hot-blooded factor that was easy to be regarded as a fool. Such a character was not as cold as her appearance. It was like a flame wrapped under the ice. Once it broke out, it was always full of uncertain factors. Therefore, Lin Luoran was easily incited to do things that were inconsistent with her personal ability and state of mind when she used things she cared about as a weapon. However, compared with Bai Ji, White Fairy felt that it was the most reassuring to deal with people like Lin Luoran. Bai Ji knew what White Fairy meant. She just pretended not to hear it and stood quietly behind the snake monster. No one knew what she was thinking. Black Tortoise said again, "In fact, I don't need to help you. You may be able to defeat this snake monster." The brave were invincible. Now was the weakest time for the mighty monster in Secret Land. Lin Luoran was just prejudiced by the inherent impression. She felt that she couldn't defeat a primitive monster. She was timid and didn't even try. This timidity was buried in her soul unconsciously. If Black Tortoise didn't point it out, it would cause great harm when she advanced sooner or later. Hearing Black Tortoise's affirmation, Lin Luoran became confident. How should I do it? Unconsciously, she regarded Black Tortoise as a trustworthy elder and naturally discussed with it. She put aside the power of the snake monster as if it was just a scene of daily teaching. What she was asking was just a sword move that she couldn't master for a long time. Black Tortoise smiled. You actually have the answer in your heart, don't you? Lin Luoran was stunned. Black Tortoise knew her so well. If she could deal with the snake monster, the first thing that came to Lin Luoran's mind was golden word figure. In addition to the golden word figure that could change the color of heaven and earth, she couldn't think of anything else that could be the nemesis of primitive monsters. Lin Luoran had closed her eyes. The blatant contempt made the snake monster angry. When the snake had attacked, Black Tortoise waited for it to get close. Then it opened its mouth and spat out a black and yellow air, forcing the snake monster to dodge awkwardly. The snake monster was shocked this time. Even though Black Tortoise's strength would be weakened like them in this month, its strength was still above all monsters. How could it be possible? It remembered that Black Tortoise's talent was not so good at that time and its bloodline was not pure. Was it just because it served the man in a linen robe with a vague face? The snake monster was so angry that it gritted its teeth and looked ferocious. The fact was obvious. Since Black Tortoise could defeat it and let it talk so much nonsense, it was obvious that Black Tortoise was also delaying time like it did before. The snake monster delayed time before in order to lure Black Tortoise out. It calculated that it cared about something and couldn't let loose. Black Tortoise was delaying time at this time. There was only one answer. It was waiting for this female chi trainer of the human race to grow up. It was afraid that it would be used as the cornerstone of the trial. The snake monster was sensitive to the atmosphere around it, suddenly had a sense of killing. It twisted its body uneasily and wanted to escape. However, Lin Luoran with her eyes closed had already moved. She raised her white wrist and her eyes were confident and happy. When the wind blew Lin Luoran's dress and long hair, the snake monster saw another person's shadow through her for a moment. That was the only existence it was afraid of after living for countless years. Such an illusion made the snake monster forget to escape for a moment. White Fairy also moved. She teleported in the direction of Baiji, and Baiji instinctively dodged. White Fairy smiled and rolled up Mu Tianan, who had been ignored for a long time on the riverbank like a rag. Then she went back to Black Tortoise. The undisguised mockery in White Fairy's eyes made Baiji suffocated. She and Baiji had a lot of time to settle scores. At this time, she wanted to make sure that Lin Luoran could focus on the battle. Since Mu Tianan was Lin Luoran's old friend, White Fairy couldn't let him go. Lin Luoran was threatened by the snake monster. Mu Tianan had to stay with him. "I need fire," Lin Luoran murmured. While talking about her needs, her fingers seemed to play some kind of music in the void. She drew lines with a beautiful frequency of freehand brushwork. Those lines were the language of communicating with the law of heaven and earth. The little female cultivator mastered this language and could also communicate with the superior law. She said she wanted fire, and the law of heaven accepted her request. The fire came out of nowhere and formed a cover with no way out, trapping the snake monster in it. The chi trainer it despised gave a big gift to the snake monster. The flame made its primordial spirit trembled. With a muffled hum, the snake monster had to shrink its huge hill-like body. When it shrank to the size of an ordinary python and tried to break through the fire, the crackling sound of the snake scales being roasted could still be heard. The solid snake scales protected the snake monster's body, but the flesh and blood under the snake scales were put in an iron stove. The heat was gathered in the snake monster's body. It felt that its cold blood was surprisingly hot. Baiji was also engulfed in a smaller ball of flame. Unlike the torture of the snake monster, Lin Luoran just directed the flame to trap her. It seemed that she wanted to let White Fairy deal with her. The sudden appearance of the flame was so miraculous that other than targeting the snake demon and Baiji, the lush green grass under the flame did not suffer the slightest damage. Lin Luoran was also a little surprised to see that she trapped the snake monster as she wished. If she wanted to refine this primitive monster with only the flame, 1 month was not enough. She didn't know what to do next for a while. "What else do you need?" Black Tortoise tempted her at the most appropriate time. Lin Luoran's heart skipped a beat. Monsters were afraid of fire for a long time. Ancient humans slept in the open air and lit bonfires to deter monsters. However, for monsters, fire was only deterrence and torture. What they were really afraid of was the punishment from the Tao of nature. Lin Luoran understood, "I still need thunder." What she needed was the thunder doom of heaven and earth. Lin Luoran's fingertips moved again. The frequency changed from the freehand landscape splashing ink to the strong and impactful gorgeous color of oil painting. The beautiful and relaxed movement became a high-pitched and intense march, which seemed so shocking under the sky. Thunder and lightning were accumulating power in the changing sky. Monsters in the secret land were wondering who was so free to challenge the rules of the secret land. White Fairy was trembling slightly. That was the natural fear of Thunder Doom as a soul of departed. Black Tortoise was gratified. Lin Luoran's growth in the past 300 years was enough to make it gratified. Lin Luoran said she needed thunder, so the purple thunder really fell. The thunder column flashed with blue electric arcs and fell on the snake monster surrounded by the fire. Every time the thunder struck, the snake monster screamed. Every time the thunder struck, It also consumed the meta in Lin Luoran's body. That was the inevitable consumption of talking with the law of nature. With the personal ability of the gathering vitality period, the power of thunder and lightning was not comparable to the real Heaven's Doom. However, it was not difficult to cut off the double-headed snake's personal ability. The double-headed snake twisted in pain. 10,000 years ago, it was caught because a human girl said, "Lock it up," in a sweet voice. In fact, it didn't suffer too much. It was afraid of the man in robe, but the ability of the man in robe always refreshed its imagination. The double-headed snake didn't know if it should be lucky that the man in robe didn't kill it himself. This was the last thought that came to its mind. Then its ocean of consciousness turned into a chaotic fog and finally closed completely. Monsters could only learn to cultivate after they developed their own intelligence and finally transform into human beings. Lin Luoran beat the double-headed snake back to the time before it developed its own intelligence. Her meta was also exhausted. Her right hand that was writing the golden character drooped down powerlessly. The double-headed snake was beaten back to its original body. Without personal ability to protect itself, it couldn't stop the fire. The snake's body was burned into ashes. It fell to the ground and broke into several pieces. Strangely enough, the jade plates that were taken away by the snake monster were not found. Chapter 5:34. Black Tortoise swallows by Ji's primordial spirit, which is trying to escape. It then carries the tired Lin Luoran on its back. Seeing that White Fairy is a little hesitant, the old tortoise generously asks her to come up. White Fairy is not pretentious and takes the half-dead Mu Tianan with her. In fact, Black Tortoise doesn't like Mu Tianan, who is half demon and half monster. However, it reluctantly takes him along for the sake of Lin Luoran. Lin Luoran lies on the broad back of the tortoise and slowly recovers her meta. Black Tortoise rides the waves of the river at a speed that looks slow but is actually fast and stable. After swimming along the river for a while, Black Tortoise climbs ashore. It is very familiar with the terrain in the secret land. With the speed of Black Tortoise, it soon comes to the miasma-filled pool of the snake monster's nest without taking detours. Lin Luoran immediately understands that Black Tortoise is here to find the jade plate taken by the snake monster. The nest of the double-headed snake is deep in the poisonous pool. The whole pool is bubbling black from time to time. The slightly boiling water exudes a foul smell. People will feel dizzy if they stay on the shore for a long time, let alone looking for the jade plate in the cold pool. The poisonous miasma is only on the surface. No one knows what is hidden under the water. After all, this is the nest of the double-headed snake. White Fairy volunteers as a soul of departed. Lin Luoran's meta hasn't recovered yet, so she nods and agrees. Even Black Tortoise almost secretly agrees. It naturally doesn't want a group of people around Lin Luoran who only know how to enjoy convenience without making any contribution. White Fairy looks no different from a real person, but her actual body is composed of energy. It is a better choice for her to go into the water. After waiting for a quarter of an hour, White Fairy still doesn't come back. Lin Luoran is a little worried. She recovers some strength, but she doesn't feel good looking at Mu Tiannan's half-dead appearance. Especially his broken hand, which is bleeding all the time. Lin Luoran doesn't know where so much blood comes from. After thinking about it, she pulls out a ginseng from the space. After washing it, she cuts it into pieces and puts it into Mu Tiannan's mouth. The bitter ginseng liquid goes down Mu Tiannan's esophagus. The coldness caused by the blood poison is beaten back by the rising warmth. He has some strength and opens his eyes reluctantly. What he sees is Lin Luoran's face. Mu Tiannan's lifeless eyes brighten a lot. Seeing that Mu Tiannan is awake, Lin Luoran refines the whole ginseng into liquid medicine with bolus fire and feeds it to him. After a while, Mu Tiannan is able to stand up. Maybe it is because of the ginseng liquid or because of Lin Luoran's care, Mu Tiannan is able to stand up. However, the first thing Mu Tiannan does after regaining his mobility makes Lin Luoran frown. A sharp nail popped out of the index finger of his undamaged hand, flashing with a sharp cold light. Then he used the nail to cut across his injured arm, revealing a blood-stained jade tablet. This is the last jade plate that the snake monster can't find. In a hurry, Mu Tiannin hides it in his broken arm and wraps it with flesh and blood to avoid the snake monster's search. Seeing Mu Tiannin wiping the blood-stained jade pendant with one hand on his ragged clothes, Lin Luoran suddenly feels suffocated when she remembers the calm and unrestrained playboy she met for the first time. This is a very strange emotion. Lin Luoran feels that it is more than pity and sympathy. I didn't mean to hurt you on the sea. I couldn't help it. Don't blame me. Mu Tiannin feels that the jade plate is clean enough, so he hands it to Lin Luoran. He explains in a low voice, but he doesn't seem to be very confident. Lin Luoran is not familiar with such a careful, guilty and flattering Master Mu. She has to change the topic. I know. Let's check your wound first. Mu Tiannan's wound is very troublesome and difficult to deal with. Lin Luoran finds that the red threads that blend with the bone and blood are destroying Mu Tiannan's vitality in an extremely overbearing and insidious way. Lin Luoran intercepts several blood vessels in his broken arm with her meta, but she can only stop the bleeding. She can't cure the symptoms for the time being. She wants to ask him what happened to him, but the poison pool has already moved. White Fairy breaks out of the water and returns. Lin Luoran doesn't know what happened to her in the pool. Her spiritual body seems a little dim. She puts 11 jade plates on the ground, along with 2 weird red fruits. She says with some regret, "There is a trap underwater. It's a pity that I only got the jade plates and 2 fruits back in a hurry." It seems that the snake monster's collection is rich enough that even White Fairy is a little tempted. However, Lin Luoran doesn't care about this. After putting away the jade plates, she looks at the 2 fruits. The cold and weird red reminds Lin Luoran of the cold eyes of the double-headed snake. Monsters like to choose a certain spirit plant to guard and enjoy the ripe fruit. Monsters are no exception. Thinking that these red fruits are probably the kind that the snake monster once gave to Baiji to help her possess, not only White Fairy, but also Lin Luoran feels a little disgusted. Just when Lin Luoran doesn't know what to do with the 2 red fruits that White Fairy snatched back, Black Tortoise, who has been watching, says, "Let him eat it. It can control the blood poison." Of course, it refers to Mu Tiannin. Lin Luoran feeds him a red fruit as it says. Mu Tiannan's face is distorted in pain as if he has eaten poison. However, his broken arm miraculously stops bleeding. Lin Luoran asks Black Tortoise what the blood poison is. Black Tortoise is not very patient with Mu Tiannan's question, so it only asks Lin Luoran to ask Mu Tiannin. Things are too complicated to explain. Mu Tiannan is not ready to confess everything. Lin Luoran puts this doubt aside for the time being. Black Tortoise doesn't know where to take them, so it asks White Fairy to come up quickly. White Fairy is a little hesitant. Although she has regrets in her heart, she doesn't dare to act rashly in front of this mysterious Black Tortoise. She obediently gets on the back of the tortoise. Lin Luoran sees through White Fairy's worries. She coughs twice. "Senior, do you know that the first cultivator who went through the divinization doom in the Lost Land succeeded?" Black Tortoise does know, but it doesn't answer immediately. Instead, it changes the topic. "If you do one thing for me, I will tell you." Isn't it just a little cultivator going through the divinization doom? What it wants to tell her is far more than that. Lin Luoran can't figure out what she can do for Black Tortoise. However, from the first time she saw Black Tortoise, she never doubted that it would harm her. A tortoise, a human, a half-monster, and a soul of departed. 4 strange combinations swagger through the Lost Land, attracting the attention of monsters along the way. However, as soon as they show up, those who know a little about them know that they are jailers and run away faster than rabbits. In fact, after being locked up for so many years, many monsters have washed away their hostility. If cultivators taking the trial don't provoke them, they live a peaceful life and don't even bother to move. Not every monster is as obsessed as the old bat or the double-headed snake. Black Tortoise doesn't stop until they arrive at the Gobi where the sandstorm is severe. Lin Luoran doesn't expect that there will be a Gobi in the Lost Land. As soon as she jumps down, she can see a few scorpions quickly hiding in the rock crevices. Black Tortoise walks silently. It throws Lin Luoran on the Gobi, pointing to the rock mountain ahead and telling Lin Luoran to find a tangerine tree and bring it back with its roots. Looking for a tangerine tree in the Gobi? Lin Luoran feels that either Black Tortoise is abnormal or she has a bad hearing. Lin Luoran can't figure out what kind of weird tangerine tree will choose a rock mountain to grow on. She pinches her nose and admits that nature is creative. However, Black Tortoise is very serious and even White Fairy can't go with it. It insists that Lin Luoran goes up the mountain alone. Black Tortoise insists. Lin Luoran has to go to the rock mountain alone under the worried eyes of Mu Tianan and White Fairy. Lin Luoran's figure shrinks into a small dot in the sky. Without Lin Luoran to change the atmosphere, White Fairy and Mu Tianan get down from the tortoise's back and wait quietly in the Gobi. Until the black dot, representing Lin Luoran, suddenly disappears, Black Tortoise suddenly says, "You don't deserve her." Both White Fairy and Mu Tianan are stunned. It doesn't make sense, but both of them understand. The former has a similar experience. The head of Zhu Mountain School just thinks that she doesn't deserve Yi Zhao. After so many years, the two finally get together. However, they end up like this because of a series of mistakes and conspiracies. Mu Tianan is no stranger to this. Yes, he knew that he didn't deserve her a long time ago. Because she is the mainstay of the cultivation world of Huaxia. He is an ordinary person without the Taoist root who will die of old age. After hundreds of years, he still doesn't deserve her. She gathered vitality and became the god of faith of the Earth Federation. This is the most obvious side. He colluded with monsters. He is a half monster and half demon. He can only hide in the dark and plot. He is stained with darkness that can't be washed away. Mu Tianan suddenly feels a little bleak. His love came suddenly many years ago. Lin Luoran just patted him, but somehow it sprouted and took root in his heart. It has become an obsession for many years. Those hypocritical literati in the new era say that the depth of love is not how good she is to you, but how much you have done for her. Mu Tianan has never gotten a response. However, year after year, he is possessed by the devil of love. Seeing that he is silent, Black Tortoise seems to be in a better mood. It continues to say, "In your case, even if she has a way to build the Taoist root, it is not suitable for you. As a half monster and half demon, you will either be possessed by the devil or be rejected by the world. You'd better give up as soon as possible." Black Tortoise's words are reasonable. Even though Mu Tianan wants to refute it, he has no confidence because it is just his unrequited love. He can't say anything. He can only tightly purse his lips and say nothing. There is still blood on his face. The setting sun of the Gobi Desert makes Mu Tianan look cold and indescribable at this moment. Together with his broken arm, he forms a strange and breathtaking beauty. White Fairy says lightly, "No matter what Linny thinks, an outsider has no right to interfere." Although these words are short, they are obviously helping Mu Tianan. Black Tortoise smiles and doesn't make any more comments. When the horizon of the Gobi Desert swallows the last light of the setting sun, Lin Luoran wobbles to the foot of the mountain. Because she doesn't know what she will face, she accelerates to restore meta all the way. Besides, she doesn't relax on the way to the Gobi Desert. The Reiki in the Lost Land is rich, so 80% of her meta has been restored. Standing at the foot of the mountain, Lin Luoran is confident. She goes straight up the mountain on her sword. Her eyesight is good enough to see at night. This rocky mountain is very barren and the field of vision is extremely wide. Lin Luoran flies all over the mountain in a short time. Unexpectedly, the orange tree that Black Tortoise asked her to find is very easy to find. The other side of the rocky mountain is very steep. A huge nest made of firewood is next to a dead big tree root. A golden orange tree grows next to the nest. The abundant gold Reiki makes Lin Luoran's heart beat faster. Plants are woody and nature's power is unpredictable. However, there are very few spirit plants of the gold series because the sharpness of gold will hurt the vitality of plants. This is the first time that Lin Luoran has found such a pure variant of the gold series. How can there be no spirit beast to guard such a variant? Lin Luoran is alert and narrowly avoids the sharp blade behind her. Chapter 5:35. The night is hazy. Only cultivators with good eyesight can recognize the thin golden blade 3 inches deep into the rock layer. Its body is a golden wing. Lin Luoran feels familiar with the golden texture coming out from the inside. Her heart seems to be gently pinched by someone, and it beats slowly. She is looking forward to and afraid. A name is rolling on the tip of her tongue, tossing and turning, but she can't say it. She calmly looks at it. A big golden eagle is standing on the old root beside the firewood nest. There is a majestic crown on its head. A pair of golden gray eyes are staring at her, full of alertness and indifference. It is an adult golden eagle. Lin Luoran is a little disappointed. There is no sense of contract. Its indifferent eyes show that it is not her Goldie. Lin Luoran remembers Black Tortoise's request to bring back the kumquat tree with its roots. It seems that she can't bring back the kumquat tree if she doesn't get rid of this adult golden eagle. The golden mutant that looked like a tangerine was obviously the natal spiritual seed guarded by the golden hawk. Is Black Tortoise helping her gather the gold of the 5 elements? Lin Luoran takes a deep breath. In the month when the secret land is open, the strength of all monsters is weakened to the weakest. According to the previous experience of dealing with the double-headed snake, she knows that it is definitely not the personal ability of the divinization period without any comparison. They are limited to below the divinization period. Lin Luoran feels that for thousands of years, there is no divinization cultivator among the human cultivators who can come in. To deal with the double-headed snake, Black Tortoise can help her. To deal with the golden eagle, she can only rely on herself. Will she succeed? These thoughts are very complicated. In fact, from Lin Luoran dodging the golden feather blade, seeing the appearance of the opponent, and confirming that it is not her Goldie, it is just a few breaths. The golden eagle is obviously also looking at and judging at the same time. It regards Lin Luoran as an intruder who covets its spirit treasure at a faster speed. To be honest, since the new era, the Earth cultivators have migrated. There has been no trace of human cultivators in the secret land for 300 years. In the past 1,000 years, those who enter the secret land are all small cultivators. The golden eagle underestimates Lin Luoran, who is in the gathering vitality period. In particular, the one in front of it is not a simple gathering vitality female cultivator. Which word should it use to deal with the monster of the gold? Wind, rain, thunder, lightning, ice, frost, snow, fire, and gravel are rolled up from the ground. There has never been such a strong wind in the Gobi. When the wind is mixed with sand, the gold hawk suddenly finds that its vision, which it has always been proud of, is disturbed. The air is full of tiny particles, and some gravels hit its body. The golden eagle suddenly finds that Lin Luoran's breath has disappeared. No, it would be more accurate to say that she had vanished into thin air. Out of vigilance against the human race, the golden hawk spreads its wings based on intuition, preparing to escape from the strange wind. Looking down from the sky, it is more conducive to its performance. The gravel and sand hit its golden feathers and make a thunderous sound. The gold hawk is about to fly. Thinking of Lin Luoran who has disappeared, it feels uneasy. This is a trap. Lin's gathering. The human knows. At the moment of hesitation, it feels that a cold water column is poured down from the top of its head. Lin Luoran hides in the sacred pearl space so that the golden eagle can't find her. At this moment, she has no time to care about the anger of the golden eagle. She moves her wrist and wants to write the word frost before it can react. The golden eagle's eyes are cold. It flaps its wings and the golden sword feathers shoot at Lin Luoran like raindrops. The distance between the human and the eagle is too short. The speed of the sword feathers is too fast to be seen by the naked eye. Lin Luoran dodges awkwardly. She can't escape into the sacred pearl space again. In this round, she has been forced to lose the initiative by the golden eagle. She barely dodges, but her limbs are cut. The sharpness of the golden feathers easily cuts through the protean dress she has worn for many years. Her right hand is especially injured. Her shoulder is seriously injured. 2 beautiful clothes, but their defense was trash. Lin Luoran only has time to sigh. The golden eagle attacks again. The crown on its head shakes and it spits out a blazing white flame. Lin Luoran is stunned. She has raised a golden eagle before. How can she not know the power of white flame? She believes that even black tortoise, which she can't see through, will have to avoid the white flame spat out by an adult golden eagle. However, because of her understanding of the golden eagle, Lin Luoran feels the crisis, and God also gives her an opportunity in the crisis. She knew that when that light flame, which could destroy both her body and primordial spirit, touched something, it would be covered with a strange layer of ice in a very short period of time. Lin Luoran doesn't fight back with fire. In a hurry, she writes, and a cold word, ice, is formed from the subtle vibration of her fingertips. She needs a solid ice wall. The law extracts her meta and gives her a generous reward. An ice wall suddenly appears and blocks the white flame. The contempt in the eyes of the golden eagle disappears. The white flame contains high temperature and it melts the ice wall quickly. The speed of thickening the ice wall can't keep up with the melting. Soon there is only a thin and fragile layer of ice wall left. However, Lin Luoran stops ice confidently. The cold stroke changes and the loud and intense thunder movement reappears. When the white flame spat out by the golden eagle turns into ice, the two ice walls collide with each other. The thin ice wall on Lin Luoran's side can't support and splashes. Lin Luoran has already called thunder. She needs thunder. Thunder and lightning fall and the ice wall in front of the golden eagle is smashed. Ice debris splashes everywhere. Lin Luoran is injured, but the golden eagle is not necessarily better. The most important thing is that the thunder and lightning from the ninth heaven has finally fallen. The water droplets on the golden hawk have become an excellent conductor for conducting electricity. In addition, its physique is gold. To put it simply, it is like a metal rod covered with water. When the thunder and lightning hit it, dazzling blue electric arc sparks burst out. The golden eagle spits out a mouthful of blood with a cry. There is golden powder in the blood, which makes the eagle's blood look terrifying. Lin Luoran's body is also stained with a little eagle's blood. When it is stained with the wound on her body, it feels hot with a tingling sensation. She didn't expect that the golden eagle is more difficult to deal with than the double-headed snake. The latter seems to be afraid because black tortoise was there at that time, so it was caught off guard by her. The cross-rank challenge makes Lin Luoran exhausted. The meta in her body has not been exhausted yet. However, in the battle of the golden sword feather, her shoulder is the most seriously injured. Finally, her hand tendons are injured. After barely writing the word thunder, she has no strength and can no longer attack. The golden eagle is also exhausted by an electric shock. One person and one eagle land on both sides of the firewood carving nest. Coincidentally, Lin Luoran is the closest to the golden orange tree. As long as she struggles to raise her hand and smear the blood of the golden eagle on the orange tree, the law of space will work. It will automatically absorb the soul of Jinling eagle into space, just like absorbing the wood wolf. When she transplants it into the golden orange tree, the space will be filled with the gold of the 5 elements. If there is no such a hardy fight, if it is not the golden eagle that can't move in front of her, if it is before the appearance of black tortoise, when she thinks the monsters in the secret land are all heinous, she will not hesitate to absorb the soul of the golden eagle at this moment. However, the wood wolf was the one who attacked her first. The pain of soul stripping is still vivid in her mind. However, the golden eagle is the one who takes the initiative to come to her. Such a monster must have developed intelligence early. It is also a meticulous work of nature. Just because she needs it, does it have to sacrifice its life for her? The crown on the head of the golden eagle is a little scorched by the thunder. It seems to understand that its death is inevitable. It stares at Lin Luoran for a long time and suddenly says coldly, "Treat it well." Treat who well? Lin Luoran suddenly raises her head. She has an intuition in her heart. Is that it? The golden eagle is talking about Goldie? It is Goldie's blood relative. Lin Luoran feels confused. It is hard to imagine how to face Goldie in the future. The golden eagle sneers. Although the personal ability is too poor, its temper is not bad. You don't have to worry about it. The old tortoise has talked to me long ago. Such an ending is a good one for a wicked monster like me. The rise and fall of Tao of nature and the accumulation of merits and virtues actually don't move it. However, as a father, the old tortoise said that the gathering of the 5 elements is a blessing for its descendants, that is its only bloodline inheritance in this world. The golden eagle family has been silent for too long. It really needs a strong guarantee so that its family and its bloodline can get rid of the shackles of this lost land and fly to a wider and wider world for it to see the spiritual world above the mortal world, the new immortal world above the spiritual world, and whether there is a real heaven beyond the immortal world that can live as long as the sky and be free and unfettered. It is imprisoned in this lost land, unable to advance and lonely for thousands of years. Maybe death is the real relief. According to Black Tortoise, its death will allow it to transcend life and death in another way and achieve Tao. Lin Luoran will believe the old tortoise for the time being. The golden eagle shakily stands up straight and carefully combs its feathers. It seems to be very dissatisfied with the discolored crown. When it barely recovers 70 to 80% of its majestic appearance, there is a flash of golden light. A golden bead the size of a pigeon egg is spat out from its mouth. That is not monster bolus. Goldie will refuse to use such a bloody thing even if it is given to it. This is just the energy condensed by its thick gold energy. As soon as Lin Luoran sees its action, she knows that the golden eagle actually wins this fierce battle. With her current strength, even if she uses the golden word figure, she is no match for it. At this time, she understands something once it is explained. Xiaojin is good at speed. Even if the gold hawk is no match for the golden word figure, it can still avoid the attack when she is riding the figure. However, the golden eagle doesn't dodge. Its life and death seem to have reached an agreement with Black Tortoise. This fierce battle with her was nothing more than a trial even though it knew it was going to die. Just like when Black Tortoise helped her to deal with the double-headed snake. Black Tortoise is creating opportunities for her to fight and learn from the mighty. The golden eagle throws the gold energy bead beside Lin Luoran and closes its eyes without any attachment. After a long time, a miniature shadow of a golden eagle appears on its head. It flaps into the kumquat tree. As for its physical body, it stood upright in its original spot. It had died after it leveled up. Lin Luoran picks up the gold energy bead and puts it away solemnly. She touches the kumquat tree with her palms stained with the eagle's blood. The tree disappears together with its roots and appears beside the pool in space. 4 elements of the 5 elements gather. Space is about to usher in a great change, and her personal ability will also be improved. But why doesn't she feel happy at this moment? The power of gold is deeply rooted in space, drilling into the soil, hiding in rocks and underwater, turning into a rich metal mine. The invincible gold makes Lin Luoran weak. She is covered with blood, and tears appear in the corners of her eyes. Of course, there is the sorrow brought by the suicide of the golden eagle and Lin Luoran's self-doubt. When her life falls to the bottom of the valley, she suddenly embarks on the road of personal ability enhancement. Every time she is in a crisis, she has a benefactor to help her. She is manipulated by invisible fate to move forward along a fixed track. Her family is missing, but she must collect the 5 elements to reunite. Was everything she had experienced just a script arranged by someone else? Living like a puppet is what she originally asked for. Is it the freedom to travel the world and the joy of singing in the mortal world? Lin Luoran feels that gold energy wraps around her. There are huge mineral deposits in the depths of the Gobi. It is hot, short of water, and there is no vegetation. However, it is the place with the strongest gold reiki in the Lost Land. Here breeds the phase identified as Rong Kumquat by the space computer. This place is chosen as the habitat by the golden eagle. The chaotic white meta in her body is divided into gold. Her personal ability soars. Between the eyebrows of the gathering vitality in the pubic region, 1 petal of the 5-petal plum is filled with dazzling gold. Space is shaking and changes. Gold reiki wraps around Lin Luoran. She can feel that the meta in her body is soaring. In just a few years, she will enter the middle period of gathering vitality from the early period. Other cultivators may give everything for this huge chance. However, Lin Luoran is not too happy. What else can she give? When Lin Luoran opens her eyes again, it is already early in the morning. The golden eagle is dead. Lin Luoran doesn't dare to look directly at its still body. The fragile Lin Luoran last night has been well hidden by her. Chapter 5:36. Mu Tianan and White Fairy are still worried when Lin Luoran is fighting with the Golden Hawk. Only Black Tortoise is calm, waiting for Lin Luoran's victory. In any case, this is a fierce battle that is destined to be won. Black Tortoise still hopes that the Golden Hawk can hold back a little, which means that Lin Luoran is already a qualified gathering vitality cultivator. The gobi is once again bathed in the glow of the morning sun. At this time, the temperature is suitable. Gobi animals take advantage of the low temperature to go out of their caves to look for food. This is the best morning. At the foot of the distant rocky mountain, a beautiful woman slowly comes. With just a few ups and downs, she seems to be gliding on the gobi. The long distance shrinks into inches under her feet. As she gets closer, people can see that she is covered with dried blood. Obviously, she was seriously injured last night. In contrast to her dejected appearance, her face was full of vigor. Gold Reiki swarmed in last night, which made her break through the early gathering vitality period and officially become a cultivator in the middle gathering vitality period. The advancement comes from the support of the Gold Reiki swarmed in the gobi and the great change of space. In the past, Lin Luoran must do closed-door training to stabilize the realm if she breaks through by external objects. However, she is not in the mood at this time. What she needs now is self-affirmation that she is not a puppet character in the script. She is a living person. Will Black Tortoise tell her the truth? Lin Luoran is not sure, but she has to try. You have advanced. Black Tortoise looks at Lin Luoran up and down with faint joy. Lin Luoran is non-committal. It's all thanks to you. Thanks to you, you have been paying attention to me since more than 300 years ago. You painstakingly led me to the secret land, used the snake monster to cooperate with me, negotiated with the Golden Hawk, and let it die to complete the gold of the 5 elements in space. Even Goldie, who brought me a lot of joy 300 years ago, was it you who led me to this place? These words choke Lin Luoran's throat. How can she make people care about her so much? Lin Luoran's look is not right. Although Black Tortoise doesn't know her character thoroughly, it has lived for a long time. Even a stone will become a spirit, let alone it. It readily admitted its arrangement. You don't have to worry about the Golden Hawk. For it, entering the space to make up for the gold of the 5 elements is the only chance to get rid of the confinement. In the future, it will also have great luck. Haven't you always wanted to find your family? The 5 elements are not complete, and Tong Tian Tower cannot be opened. Where will you get the chance? Lin Luoran doesn't react much when she hears about her family. In the past, she could do anything to find her family and friends. After experiencing all this, the fog that always shrouded in front of her made her wonder whether the disappearance of the Lin family was also arranged, just to provoke her to gather the 5 elements. Black Tortoise stares at her with gentle eyes. Are you thinking that the disappearance of your parents and your friends was also arranged like the soul of the Golden Hawk entering space? Lin Luoran hesitates for a moment and nods again. Even if she doesn't admit it, Black Tortoise will still see through her thoughts. Since she has decided to ask clearly, she has to be honest. Unexpectedly, Black Tortoise nodded. In a sense, it is indeed because of me that they can open the Tower of Babel and find the correct transmission coordinates. Lin Luoran's heart fluctuates slightly. Black Tortoise's acknowledgement is the first time she gets a positive answer since she was separated from her family. There are too many messages left by the crazy Taoist. They are short and mysterious, but Black Tortoise mentions a key word, transmission coordinates. Even if she has the star atlas, only the transmission coordinates are really related to the whereabouts of the Lin family and her friends in the world of cultivation. Black Tortoise ignores her excited look and says, "But if you think that the disappearance of your family is to motivate you to gather the 5 elements deliberately because of this, you are very wrong. Think about it carefully. Why are you separated from your family? It's just that you have an obsession in your heart. You can't see through the illusions of the mortal world. You try to make your mother never separate from you as a mortal, so you decide to go to Mount Panglai. There is a warning in the records of Huaxia that one day in heaven is 1 year on earth. You enter the Panglai immortal world as a cultivator who has not proved the Tao. You should have been prepared. As for the invasion of the alien alliance, you probably don't know the fuse, do you? Because of the invitation of the Zhu Mountain disciples and your own curiosity, you rashly went to the Kalahari Desert. Of course, your friends slept for 100 years and forgot everything. More importantly, you were not careful enough when dealing with the alien consciousness body. Her consciousness attached to the Jade Star Atlas sent out the news about the Earth. The Alpha Alliance was the first to intercept this news. This is an important reason why the Alien Alliance suddenly attacked. When you returned from Panglai, the Earth had already become a scorched land. You decided to open the Tower of Babel again. Of course, you must gather the 5 elements. Killing other monsters is your life, and so is Gold Hawk. Why not kill a monster with a higher personal ability? You think that every word and every move is arranged and ordered by someone, but who can control your thoughts? Once many causes are planted unconsciously, one day you will reap the fruit by yourself. We help you on the road of personal ability enhancement, but your growth experience is real. Growing up in such an environment, you have your own judgment of good and evil. Your unique view of right and wrong also determines your reaction to dealing with things. I have been wandering in the human society for these years. I have heard people say that character determines fate. For you, this is the most true portrayal. No one forces you to go to Panglai, to the Kalahari Desert, or to gather the 5 elements of space. You see, these are all your choices. Who can arrange whose fate? Black Tortoise finishes slowly and Lin Luoran's face is as pale as paper. Since she came back from the Panglai immortal world, she has always regarded herself as a victim. It is painful for her to be separated from her relatives, but what about those countries, families, and nationalities that completely disappeared in the interstellar war? She rebuilt the faith of the Earthlings and thought she was righteous. However, she never thought that the Earth destroyed by artillery fire might be the cause she planted. Lin Luoran feels that she is like a small leaf flowing and undulating with the water. She has never had such a feeling of being doomed eternally. Black Tortoise says everything, which makes Lin Luoran's primordial spirit unstable. Both White Fairy and Mu Tianan are stunned. Character determines fate. Mu Tianan is deeply touched. If it weren't for his stubbornness, he would have turned into a cup of yellow soil before the new era. How could he have struggled all the way to today as a half-monster and half-demon who was not accepted by the world? However, he never regretted his choice. After living for so many years, he was able to see her again. He also did his best for the revival of the Earth with his long life and soaring strength. His whole body is stained with indelible darkness. This is his subjective choice. Since he doesn't destroy it, why does Black Tortoise blame Lin Luoran for the invasion of the Alpha Alliance? Does one person have to be responsible for all the coincidences in the world? If the Tao of nature is really fair, it should be someone like him. Lin Luoran is too stupid. How can she bear such a heavy burden? Mu Tianan thinks about it and asks, even if what you said is true, because of her carelessness, the consciousness attached to the Jade Star Atlas sent a message to the Earth, which was intercepted by the Alpha Alliance and finally launched a war. According to your theory, character determines fate. She was careless, but did others force the Alpha Alliance to invade? It takes 2 hands to clap. I happen to know something about the past. The fake Saintess was about to leave the Earth with the Jade Star Atlas in neon. Lin Luoran and Senior Jiang didn't stop her. After the fake Saintess left, will the force coming here be better than the Alpha Alliance? Maybe the situation of the Earth today will be worse. Or, in this boundless universe, the Earth we live on has already disappeared. Is the lost land in the extra-dimensional space really 100% sure to be preserved? Many factors intertwined to lead to today's result. Why do you only mention the small cause that she participated in? Mu Tianan's words are clear. He dares to contradict Black Tortoise, which finally makes Black Tortoise look at him seriously. Although Mu Tianen has many shortcomings, he is not too stupid. He dares to put things into action even at the cost of being a devil. Black Tortoise feels that it has to re-evaluate Mu Tianan's future. Mu Tianan's words fall into Lin Luoran's ears. Although it is refreshing, it can only comfort her. Black Tortoise is in her heart. Its question makes her speechless and frustrated. Black Tortoise puts Lin Luoran in the oil pan for a while to wake her up and extinguish her self-pity and self-denial. It feels that it is almost time to add, "He's right." The message sent by the extraterrestrial consciousness was only a small part of the message. In fact, the catastrophe of the Earth is inevitable. This catastrophe can be traced back to the collapse of the immortal world, the migration of gods and Buddhas, and then the disappearance of the primitive world. In the middle, the Earth's Reiki is exhausted and the alien civilization is plotting against us. Chi trainers and the monster race are troubled by both internal and external aggression and the decline of the cultivation civilization. In the bottom, the Earth is about to die. All the people who stay here, whether they are humans, animals, plants, or even this planet, will be destroyed by external forces. Many years ago, a little girl accidentally learned about this catastrophe. All gods and Buddhas in heaven have abandoned this planet, but she stubbornly loves it. She can go to the real Xiaoyao cave, but she stays here to change the final catastrophe. She said that such a beautiful Earth can't be destroyed even if it can't be used for personal ability enhancement. She spent a lot of effort and personal ability to deduce and paid a great price to plant good karma bit by bit. She only hoped that it could bear good results after 10,000 years. You must have guessed this little girl. She is the former owner of the Sacred Pearl. She comes from a poor family, has imperfect qualifications, and is not very beautiful. However, she is the stupidest Momo. The Earth is already empty. If you want to avoid the catastrophe, you can only break it and then build it. You are the good karma of Momo's hard work and good karma. You are the lucky chance of breaking it and then building it. Momo is stupid. She did all this without the support of that man. So she is not in this world now. No one can force you to do anything. She has her own arrangements and expectations. Lin Luoran, you are not Momo. You should also have your own life and choices. It says that you are not Momo. You should also have your own life and choices. It says that you are the good karma of Momo's hard work and good karma. You are the lucky chance of breaking it and then building it. Lin Luoran is stunned and speechless. White Fairy and Mu Tianen look at each other. The three of them may be the first witnesses to hear the complete truth in thousands of years. When things become related to the rise and fall of their birth planet, neither White Fairy nor Mu Tianen can get a word in edgewise. Although they can't figure out how the rise and fall of the planet has anything to do with Lin Luoran, a gathering vitality cultivator. Lin Luoran is silent for a long time. It is so long that she almost falls asleep. Then she says again, I have always suspected that maybe I am the reincarnation of Momo. But you said that I am not Momo. Her words are too simple, but Black Tortoise can understand how much doubt and denial it contains. It can understand this kind of feeling, but it begs to differ. Who is Lin Luoran? It is not just a simple name symbol. Your origin, growth experience, character, family, friends, and social relations determine that Lin Luoran can only be you. As for Momo, there is no one in this world who is 100% the same as her. Lin Luoran's mood fluctuates so much that she doesn't notice that Black Tortoise's answer is somewhat different. It doesn't directly deny or affirm. Mu Tianan's mind is much sober when it is about Lin Luoran. He wants to say something, but he closes his mouth for some selfishness. Black Tortoise pauses for a moment to let Lin Luoran digest what it said for a while. Then it continues, as for you being the lucky chance of breaking it and then building it, this matter has something to do with the mystery of the disappearance of gathering vitality cultivators 1,000 years ago and the place where your family and friends went. You may have suspected that the disappearance of gathering vitality cultivators 1,000 years ago was because they went to the spiritual world. This kind of speculation is somewhat ridiculous. Immortals can't be immortals unless they go to the spiritual world. Gods and Buddhas set up the spiritual world to select talented chi trainers. It is not on a planet but a small plane. It is limited to divinization cultivators to ascend to it. Cultivators who haven't passed divinization doom can't go there no matter what method they use. This is the law of the world, which can't be changed by the will of cultivators. It is ridiculous that there are still cultivators who try to sneak through the space node to the spiritual world. There is a cultivator who took action. Although he found the node, he was lost forever in the vast starry sky. He could never return to the earth, let alone wait for divinization doom to ascend to the spiritual world. When it says that someone tried to sneak through the space node, White Fairy's face turns red. Mr. Wuye, who is like a banished immortal, once had such an absurd idea. When Black Tortoise says that someone once found the space node, but he was lost forever in the vast starry sky and could never return to the earth. White Fairy and Lin Luoran look at each other. They both think of the remains of Danling Taoist they saw on the wild planet. It turns out that Danling Taoist didn't succeed in divinization. He tried to take a shortcut, but he was lost in the starry sky instead. Black Tortoise hasn't talked about ancient times for a long time. It is rare for someone to listen carefully. It becomes more and more energetic. More than 1,000 years ago, gathering vitality cultivators disappeared. More than 1,000 years later, the world of cultivation gathered cultivators with single Taoist root of the 5 elements to open the Tower of Babel. They went to the same place. That place is in the gap between the human world and the spiritual world. It is connected to the spiritual world and gets some nourishment from the spiritual world. It is also more suitable for personal ability enhancement than the earth. However, it is connected to the earthly world. Dragged down by the bad environment of the human world, it forms a unique world. The civilization there is strange. It is not only about cultivation and chi training, but also inclusive. The whole world is not inferior to a small version of the universe. The success rate of divinization doom there is much higher. Your family is there. As long as you gather the 5 elements, you don't need to be in the divinization period to open the Tower of Babel and go to that unique world. Now you know that because you are the lucky chance person designated by Momo, as long as you are willing to let me supplement the earth of the 5 elements for you like the Gold Hawk, you can go and reunite with your family immediately. Lin Luoran's heart is pounding. In front of her is a huge and tempting cake. She is not a saint. She is very protective. She wants to reunite with her family as soon as possible. This is her only obsession after returning from Mount Penglai. She really wants to promise Black Tortoise. She is cruel and doesn't care about Black Tortoise's life or death. However, Black Tortoise's words keep coming. It says, "You are the good karma of Momo's hard work. You are the lucky chance after breaking. Momo is stupid. She did all this without the support of that man, so she is no longer in this world now. The little girl whose smile can warm people's hearts is no longer in this world?" Lin Luoran still remembers that Momo held her hand. Her palm was so cold. Although she was smiling, she seemed to be sad. She once saw Momo practicing calligraphy in the Book of Great Truths. She repeatedly described the boredom of a character. She practiced secretly until she was backfired. She once heard Momo's laughter spread all over the corners of the forest, making the grass and trees want to be moved. Momo is delicate, kind, and diligent. Some of the most important good qualities of a human are reflected in her. However, such a beautiful and flawless little girl, as Black Tortoise said, is no longer in this world because of her stupidity. The word Momo means tiny. The stupidity of the little girl who tried to change the outcome of the catastrophe with her own tiny power is no longer there. If Black Tortoise doesn't tell what she has done, it may never be known. Lin Luoran has enjoyed the good karma she planted, the sacred pearl she left, and the care of the robe as a souvenir. Can she really choose to reunite with her family at this time with a clear conscience and ruin all the efforts of the silly girl? Lin Luoran is questioning herself. Her personal ability enhancement is not for taking on heavy responsibilities. However, she has enjoyed the efforts of others. If she turns away indifferently, She may live in the self-blame of her soul every day for the rest of her long life. There are too many smart people who can choose to go higher and burn bridges after crossing the river. Lin Luoran is not one of them. She seems to have to make a stupid choice again. If I refuse your proposal at this time, can I still reunite with my family? Black Tortoise finally shows a sincere smile. Its simple face looks particularly sincere. You are also a silly girl. Between small family and great love, you have actually made a choice, haven't you? Great love? People are selfish. She doesn't know what great love is. Maybe it's just because she is a little more stupid and soft-hearted than others. She can't bear to see the beautiful planet with too many memories completely turn into dust in the universe one day. Chapter 537. Small family or great love, you have actually made a choice, haven't you? Lin Luoran chews on Black Tortoise's words repeatedly. In fact, whether she chooses small family or great love, she will have regrets. The only thing she can do is to give up the choice with less regrets. In this way, how can she hide her bitter smile? Mu Tianen looks at her profile and captures every subtle change in her expression. It seems that he has experienced a difficult choice with her. At this time, he only feels that he has lived for hundreds of years but still lacks vocabulary. He doesn't know what kind of comfort can make her happy. It has nothing to do with them. Only White Fairy is much calmer. Hearing Black Tortoise's words, although the two choices are different, in fact, there is no contradiction. If Linny stays to clean up the mess of the earth, how many years will it take for her to reunite with her family? Black Tortoise smiles. One of the three fools finally thinks of this key problem. Use her space to continuously restore the Earth's environment. If it can be done within 100 years, you can come to me when the Lost Land opens in the next 100 years. I will tell you the way to open the Tower of Babel again, the Lin family, and the landmarks where those cultivators are. Only 100 years? Lin Luoran frowns. This price is not too high. Just like Colin Weir's promise to be a servant for 100 years, it is just a moment for cultivators to live a long life. At this time, she has no time to think about whether the Lin family can smoothly break through and advance in the next 100 years. Just like they have been waiting for her in the distant unknown for 300 years, they continue to wait for her to reunite. The gray fog on the earth is thick and lingering. It will be rebuilt in 100 years. What should I do? Black Tortoise clumsily points at itself. The gray fog is dead energy. When the catastrophe of the Earth comes, the whole planet is surrounded by dead energy. Only by rebuilding the 5 elements of the Earth and forming an endless cycle can the dead energy be completely defeated. What you are doing now is to use the mother lode of the 5 elements as nourishment to treat the symptoms of the disease on the surface of the Earth. However, its shell is sick and its inner body has long been weak. If you want to cure it, you need to use the 5 elements you gather with space. The last of the 5 elements, Earth, is me. 100 years later, when the Lost Land opens again, I will personally fill in the Earth of the 5 elements. Space will change beyond your imagination, and the problem of Earth will be completely solved. You can go find your family without any regrets. White Fairy takes a deep breath. Cultivators fight against nature and fight for survival. Robbing resources is a small matter, but it is not uncommon to kill people of the same school as stepping stones. Everyone talked about pursuing the Great Tao, but a long lifespan was also the driving force for many cultivators to cultivate. In such an environment, it is the first time for her to hear a mighty monster with Black Tortoise's personal ability to calmly mention death. Lin Luoran can't accept it for a while. She can't stop Gold Hawk from killing itself. Can't she stop Black Tortoise from having the same idea? She unconsciously says her thoughts, which makes Black Tortoise smile indifferently. I told you that if you want to make up the 5 elements, you have to kill a strange beast of the earth. Just because they are not familiar with you, you can kill them calmly? To tell you the truth, I didn't migrate after the spiritual world was opened in the old year. When the doom of divinization came, I beat it back. I asked to be a guard in the Lost Land. I have been free for so many years, and I have made this decision long ago. Whether you search the lost land or go to the monster forest of the Penglai immortal world again, the strength of those strange beasts of the earth is below me. The earth is thick and pure. It can carry everything. The 5 elements are endless. In the cycle of the 5 elements in space, the earth must be the strongest. Except for me, there is really no other choice. You don't have to be sad. I don't do this for Lin Luoran. I just feel sorry for that silly Momo. As I said before, sometimes death is not the end. Gold Hawk kills itself. On the one hand, it gets rid of the confinement of the lost land. On the other hand, when you make up the 5 elements, the beast souls of the 5 elements in space will have a great chance under the great merit. You are not a fish. How do you know that it is not what the fish wants? Black Tortoise is a mellow elder. It solves Lin Luoran's doubts one by one without any impatience. These secrets of the world are told. Lin Luoran's mood fluctuates a few times. Black Tortoise doesn't hide it, nor does it comfort her. These words still soothe her mind like a trickle. If Black Tortoise can face life and death calmly, why can't she accept the separation of a small family for 100 years in exchange for the boundless love of the earth? Be willing to give up. You can only get something if you give up. Lin Luoran's state of mind trapped in a corner comes out of confusion. At this time, she reaches a real free and easy state. She gives up and she will get something. The damage to the ocean of consciousness caused by Han Weya and Lin Luoran's Taoist root is quickly recovered after her state of mind jumps out of a certain level. The fog in the ocean of consciousness dissipates, and it becomes clear again. The exquisitely carved pavilions, terraces, cranes, and clouds were all gone. What was left was the boundless, primitive land, and the clear, broad, and clean sky. Abandoning prosperity and returning to simplicity. There are pleasant green mountains and clear waters between heaven and earth. There are also deserts and Gobi. These scorching and evil lands border on each other. The world is never built with beauty. If you can only see beauty, it's because you are self-hypnotized and ignore the ugliness on the side. Beauty and ugliness, good and evil, nobility and poverty, they are clearly defined. Sometimes they are entangled with each other and it is difficult to distinguish them. However, it is undeniable that the world will never be truly complete without one side. Under the sky, the fly Apsara's painted sculpture with the same face as Lin Luoran returns to its original simplicity. Lin Luoran can feel the real compassion between its eyebrows and eyes. She thinks that the most shocking light spot hidden between the godhood-painted sculptures must be the teardrop left by Momo. Black Tortoise says that Momo is no longer in the world. Lin Luoran thinks whether Black Tortoise knows that at least there is a tear of mercy left by Momo. It melts with her and they will never be separated. Momo will also be remembered forever. When Lin Luoran opens her eyes again, she looks at the barren Gobi with a new state of mind and sees its vitality. The state of mind that she can't match because of her rapid advancement has been made up. After a long time, she realizes that what she gets is far more than what she gives up. Lin Luoran realizes something. The people around her obviously notice her change. Mu Tianan and White Fairy are naturally happy to see that she gets rid of the knot in her heart and makes progress because of it. Even Black Tortoise looks at her with relief. For a short moment, it seems to see the shadow of another little girl through her skin. Black Tortoise's relief is infected with sadness again. Naturally, it diverts its attention. Well, what do you want to do with this thing? Black Tortoise opens its mouth and spits out a ball of light. Baiji's primordial spirit is shivering in it. It originally says this to White Fairy. White Fairy is stunned. She lowers her head and thinks for a long time. Then she says, "Before you say this to Linny, I want to torture her primordial spirit with all kinds of torture. Only in this way can I relieve the hatred of losing my body and being separated from my lover. But you said that in the world, there must be gains and losses. In the past, he and I couldn't get rid of our obsession. We didn't want to abandon our school, but we also wanted to have the best of both worlds. We could break through his grandmaster's opposition and be together. After a long time, we still tasted the bitter fruit because of our greed. If I have to choose between dealing with Baiji's primordial spirit and giving up, I am willing to exchange it for an answer. Bai Ji is overjoyed when she hears this, but Black Tortoise understands. You want to ask, did Yi Zhao successfully pass the heavenly tribulation? White Fairy nods. She can die if she hears the truth in the morning. She is too greedy, but she can't catch anything in the end. Yi Zhao is cold-hearted, but he has done a lot for her. Even if she has no achievements in personal ability enhancement in this life, the only thing she owes is Yi Zhao's friendship. Since you are willing to give up and exchange an answer, isn't it too unreasonable not to tell you the truth? Black Tortoise's tone is more or less appreciative. It no longer only cares about Lin Luoran and doesn't take White Fairy seriously. At that time, his divinization doom came so suddenly that even I was alarmed. You can imagine how bad the situation was. The famous Mr. Wuye in the world of cultivators is one of the few outstanding figures in the cultivation civilization. Under the covetous gaze of all the demons, he passed the divinity transformation stage tribulation that other cultivators could never pass. Little girl, with you, it is not impossible for you to fly to the Spiritor's realm and reunite with him. He went through the divinization doom that other cultivators could never go through. White Fairy only hears this sentence repeatedly. As for Black Tortoise's encouragement after that, she subconsciously ignores it. When she turned to cultivate as a spirit, she knew that she probably had no fate with the Tao in this life. She hid under the bottomless abyss and was motivated to gather remnant souls because of the Soul Stone. She hoped that one day she could find the real murderer who plotted against her and know whether he had successfully gone to a higher world of personal ability enhancement. Two persistents almost get the answer on the same day. Her enemy has a very bad ending, but her lover still has a bright future. For her, this is the best reward for 1,000 years of persistence. White Fairy feels that at this moment, she should have no worries. She is gratified, but she doesn't know what to ask for in the following time. Lin Luoran notices that Black Tortoise left some leeway in its words. Do you mean that White Fairy still has a chance to fly to the spiritual world? Lin Luoran is not knowledgeable and she doesn't know where White Fairy's way out is in this situation. Will there be heaven's doom for a spirit body to take her to the spiritual world? Black Tortoise laughs. Before the catastrophe, there was still a way out for those who cultivated as a spirit body. At that time, there was no spiritual world. What she had to go through was the great heaven's doom. If she succeeded, she would be a spirit immortal. Now, the world of divinization only targets cultivators and monsters. The world of immortals collapsed, and there is a spiritual world between the new world of immortals and the mortal world. She is in the mortal world, but she can't wait for the great heaven's doom. Lin Luoran is a little confused, but White Fairy doesn't feel disappointed because she has no hope. Linny, you don't have to worry about me. I have expected this result. If there was a way out for cultivating as a spirit body, Bai Ji's primordial spirit didn't have to attack Lin Luoran. Black Tortoise smiles faintly. Do you really see through it? White Fairy nods. What can she do if she doesn't see through it? Some things can't be changed by people's will, and they can't be forced. Oh, since you have seen through it, I don't have to waste my breath. Black Tortoise's tone is very provocative. Probably because they are in the same boat, Mu Tianin can't help but want to help White Fairy. Senior Cultivator, if you have a way, please say it clearly. We all owe you a favor. Black Tortoise sneers. What's the use of you owing me a favor? If it were Master Mu 300 years ago, he would definitely be furious at such contemptuous words. After so much, he has changed a little bit of his reckless temperament. Hearing Black Tortoise's contempt, he still looks calm. Mice have their own ways, and insects have their own ways. Senior Cultivator has a high personal ability. If there are some trivial things that you can't do by yourself, I am willing to do my best to serve you. Black Tortoise snorts. Your words are better than singing. But after all, it changes its opinion of Mu Tianan a little bit. At first, it thought he was thoughtful. However, after getting along with him for a few days, it finds that this half-monster and half-demon, who is obsessed with Lin Luoran, is actually not feminine. On the contrary, it appreciates him a little. Black Tortoise glances at Lin Luoran and says lightly, You have to remember your promise. It completely ignores Mu Tianen. However, the three of them all know that Black Tortoise has actually agreed with Mu Tianen. Didn't you put her body in space? Lin Luoran nods. When she left the mausoleum in a hurry, she didn't want to leave White Fairy's body alone there, so she did take it out. Hearing Black Tortoise's words, she moves the crystal palace out of space. The desolation of the Gobi makes this coffin look like a crystal. In fact, it is a warm ice jade that Mr. Wuye went to the northernmost land and painstakingly found. It can protect the body for 10,000 years. White Fairy's body seems to be asleep. Under the scorching sun of the Gobi, her corpse's cheeks are redder and her lips are red. Well, isn't this the solution? Black Tortoise points at the crystal coffin. Lin Luoran thinks about it. You mean, let White Fairy still use her original body? Is this okay? Her body looks intact, but it doesn't seem to be alive. Lin Luoran feels that Black Tortoise's proposal is so incredible that she has never heard of it. Unexpectedly, Black Tortoise nods affirmatively. Of course. Her physical condition is special. Her primordial spirit was shattered by the snake monster, but the gathering vitality in her body was still there. Therefore, her school sister could directly possess her body after taking the snake fruit. Coincidentally, after her school sister's plot was exposed, the cultivator surnamed Yi chose to extract her soul. It was similar to what the snake monster did at the beginning. Both of them only hurt the primordial spirit living in the body, and the gathering vitality in the body was completely preserved. Of course, once ordinary cultivators lose their primordial spirit, although the gathering vitality has meta, it doesn't have the consciousness to continue to protect the body. Over time, the body will slowly die and die. There are many treasures in the world of cultivation that can preserve the body. The most famous one is the Green Mountains Jade. It not only has a miraculous effect on making elixirs but also can consolidate the soul. However, the world doesn't know that there is Warm Ice Jade. It is an extremely precious spirit treasure. The last piece left on the earth was found by Yi Zhao and carved into this coffin. In fact, Warm Ice Jade used to be used by powerful people to preserve spirit medicine. It is a closed jade box. When it is closed, the time in the world inside the box stops flowing. Until the day it is opened again, the effect of the medicine will still be the same as the moment when it is put in. Yi Zhao has really done his best for you. This Warm Ice Jade is also a rare treasure that everyone in the primitive world is fighting for. It keeps the state of your body at the moment when it is put in. Only when the person in the coffin really wakes up can the crystal coffin be opened from the inside. In other words, your body in the coffin is still alive at this moment. Except for the old Black Tortoise, who knows about Warm Ice Jade, no one knows how many ancient books Yi Zhao has read and how much effort he has put in to find such a rare treasure like Warm Ice Jade. White Fairy used to feel that her wish has been fulfilled and she has nothing else to ask for. However, at this moment, her mood is totally different. Yi Zhao is not like other female cultivators' Taoist companions who give small gifts to please or sweet words. However, he is far better to her than others. She doesn't know how much he has suffered to find the Warm Ice Jade. However, she knows that he no longer owes her. The one who owes him is her. White Fairy is a soul of departed. She can't even accurately convey her choking emotions. Senior cultivator, if there is such a chance for me to get my body back, what do I need to pay? Black Tortoise is happy. Then tell me, what are you willing to pay? Don't learn from someone and fool me with empty promises. Someone is not guilty at all, so he naturally has no pressure. White Fairy lowers her head and thinks for a long time. She doesn't know what else she can give up. Lin Luoran is anxious. Senior cultivator. Black Tortoise sighs. Forget it. You have nothing to exchange. Why don't you give me your school sister's soul of departed and the power of the soul you have cultivated for hundreds of years? Then we can talk about it. White Fairy agrees without hesitation. Everyone present doesn't care that Bai Ji's primordial spirit is screaming in the light group. There is a cause and there is an effect. Lin Luoran hurt White Fairy's primordial spirit in the past. Now it is not too much to pay back with her own primordial spirit. White Fairy's power of the soul has been cultivated for hundreds of years and it has condensed into an entity. Lin Luoran feels it is a pity. However, White Fairy agrees. Black Tortoise nods approvingly. Since you are willing to give up your personal ability, it will be as you wish. Isn't there a snake fruit left among the spoils you desperately snatched from the poisonous pool? Swallow it and your wish will be fulfilled. However, let me tell you first. After your soul returns to the body, all your personal ability in the past will disappear. You have to start all over again after thousands of years of hard work. The future of personal ability enhancement is unknown. You have done so much, but you may not be able to smoothly gather vitality again in the future. Let alone divinization's doom, you will ascend to the spiritual world and meet Yi Zhao. Or, when you go through all kinds of hardships to do it, Yi Zhao is no longer in the spiritual world. He may even have changed his mind. What will you do then? White Fairy still nods without thinking. Yi Zhao did everything in the past. Did he ever think that he must have something in return? What she is doing now is the same. She only wants to follow her own heart and really work hard without any scruples. Lin Luoran admires White Fairy's choice and feels touched. She takes out the snake fruit and hands it to her. White Fairy swallows it without hesitation. The snake fruit is very strange. White Fairy eats it as a soul of departed. The power of the snake fruit is transformed into light spots and absorbed. The soul power in her body begins to flow away and it is fixed by Black Tortoise with gas. When White Fairy disperses her soul power and only a phantom is left, the power of the snake fruit leads her to fly into the crystal coffin. Her soul returns to the body. Will White Fairy wake up? There is a faint red light flowing in the crystal coffin. It is the snake fruit that makes the body and the primordial spirit which has not been seen for a long time fit together. Only if it succeeds, the crystal coffin frozen in time will be opened from the inside. Lin Luoran is in tears. She is not only happy for White Fairy. On the other side, someone also finds warm ice jade for Mrs. Lin to freeze time and keep her mother here? Black Tortoise suddenly asks Mutanen in a voice transmission, "You know that there is no light ahead. Are you still persistent?" Chapter 5:38. At the end of the Gobi, at the intersection of the light and the horizon, the red sunset shyly hides and wants to go home. The crystal coffin makes a slow sound. As soon as it comes into contact with the outside world, the forbidden time in the coffin is broken. White Fairy slowly opens her eyes. The snake fruit allows her primordial spirit to return to her body. The price she pays is not only the soul power she has cultivated for hundreds of years, but also the personal ability of the late gathering vitality period that she cultivated for 600 years. It vanishes in an instant and no longer exists. Violating the law of life and death, White Fairy pays a great price. Her gathering vitality dissipates. She regresses to the golden elixir. The golden elixir is broken again. The rotating nebula in her ocean of Reiki closes again. Weak Reiki exists in her meridians. At this moment, White Fairy only has the personal ability of the middle period of training Qi. The famous gathering vitality female cultivator in the world of cultivation in the past has become a little cultivator in the level of training Qi who has just entered the path of immortality. If she hadn't experienced the blow of almost dispersing her primordial spirit, this difference would have troubled White Fairy for a long time. Fairy! Seeing that she really wakes up, Lin Luoran is overjoyed. Noticing that White Fairy has almost lost her personal ability, Lin Luoran sits up and holds the edge of the crystal coffin with her hands. She thinks that her body is weak after a long sleep. Lin Luoran steps forward to help her, but White Fairy waves her hand and refuses. "Let me do it myself." She is not weak. It's just that she hasn't had the feeling of having a body for a long time. She has mixed feelings for a while. When White Fairy sits up and tidies up her clothes, she finds that she is wearing a lotus-patterned storage bracelet on her wrist, her favorite in the past. There are many spirit medicines, spirit stones, and magic weapons stored in it for many years. She knows that everything is prepared by Yi Zhao. She is half happy and half worried. She only feels that it is worthwhile to disperse her personal ability. Touching the bracelet, she puts away the warm ice jade crystal coffin and disappears. White Fairy kowtows to Black Tortoise. I'm by Qingxue. Thank you for your great kindness. I swear by the devil inside that I will do anything for you in the future. Black Tortoise nods, indicating that it accepts her devil inside oath. White Fairy continues, when I first met you, you were also a female cultivator in training Qi. At that time, I laughed at you for being too weak to come to the secret land. Now our positions are reversed. You are in the middle stage of gathering vitality, while I am in the middle stage of training Qi. I don't deserve to be called fairy by you anymore. All the gods and Buddhas have disappeared. Now in this world, only you are the real, mortal heart fairy, conferred by the heaven. As for the white fairy, that others wrongly called, it will no longer exist from now on. The one standing in front of you now is by Qingxue. According to reason, I have just called you senior. Please take pity on my old mental state and allow me to call you fellow Taoist Lin. From now on, you can call me Qingxue. Lin Luoren doesn't know whether to laugh or cry. You and I are best friends. There is no need to make such a distinction. I will call you Sister Bai from now on, okay? Bai Qingxue thought about it and nodded in agreement. She still preferred to call him Little Linny. It was intimate and smooth. Mu Tianen also interceded for her. Bai Qingxue bowed to him, which was the most formal etiquette of a lady in ancient times. Mu Tianen was so flustered that he stepped aside and did not dare to accept the etiquette. Black Tortoise is very impatient. Don't you get tired of thanking me? The 1-month period of Lost Land is coming. Why don't you leave? Lin Luoren still wants to say something, but she has been caught by Black Tortoise and thrown out of the secret land. Then Bai Qingxue is thrown out, and finally Mu Tianen. Black Tortoise sees that he is a little pitiful with an empty arm. When it throws him out of the secret land, it reminds him in an inaudible voice, since you are willing to protect her for 100 years, I will give you a piece of advice. The chaos spirit fluid in the underground palace of Jinling may be able to solve your current half-dead state. Of course, it is just a possibility. You don't have too much hope. Black Tortoise doesn't want to listen to Mu Tiannan's empty words of thanks. It throws him out of the secret land. Bai Ji's primordial spirit is wrapped in light and forgotten by everyone. When Black Tortoise finally thinks of her again, it looks over there. Bai Ji screams in horror, School sister, I was wrong. School sister, help me, help me. Bai Ji doesn't know that her school sister, who used to fulfill all her requests, has been killed by her jealousy more than 1,000 years ago. She has been crushed into dust by the ruthless time. The dust is blown by the wind. People can't help but shed tears. 7-year-old Bai Ji is picked up by Bai Qingxue, who goes back to her hometown to visit her relatives. Oh, my sister actually has the Taoist root of personal ability. Uncle Bai, can you let Ji join our school and be my little school sister? Uncle Bai, who values boys more than girls, is fascinated by the golden beads brought back by Bai Qingxue. She is just a daughter. When she grows up, she can't get so much dowry. Uncle Bai gives Bai Ji to Bai Qingxue. Bai Qingxue feels sorry for her sister. Her relatives treat her coldly, so she is very good to her. When Bai Ji was a child, she followed Bai Qingxue timidly and called her sister with a soft childish voice. Bai Qingxue corrected her for a long time before she learned to call her school sister. If you knew this would happen, you wouldn't have done it. Black Tortoise sighs and finally swallows Bai Ji's primordial spirit. Lin Luoren and the other two are thrown out of the secret land by Black Tortoise one after another. They fall into the sea. Not to mention Lin Luoren and Mu Tianen, poor Bai Qingxue has returned to the middle period of training Qi. Her experience and personal ability are extremely unmatched. She almost can't control the sea water well and becomes the first female cultivator with the Taoist root of the water to drown in the sea. Lin Luoren remembers that Bai Qingxue can't ride on the sword with her personal ability at this time. She still has a bone boat in her space. Lin Luoren quickly drags it out and puts it into the sea. After the three of them get on the boat, she drives the bone boat to break the waves. As soon as she walks out of the fog of Bermuda Sea area, she meets Liao and Hu Ji who are circling on the sea. "Uncle Liao, are you awake?" Lin Luoran is overjoyed. She forgets to ask why Liao is here and how he and Hu Ji know that she has entered Lost Land. Liao seems to be more excited than her. "Are you okay? This secret land is so weird that even I can't enter the extra-dimensional space. Did you meet an old tortoise?" Lin Luoran is both overjoyed and shocked. Why is Liao so weird after waking up? His attitude towards her is not as lazy as before. And why does Liao also know Black Tortoise? He really has friends all over the world. Hu Ji looks at Mu Tianen and then at Lin Luoran. He doesn't forget that this face always hangs in front of the villa of Qingqing Villa. He is full of vigilance and can only say a few sarcastic words. "You entered Bermuda's secret land without saying a word. Liao and I had to eat the sea breeze in the nearby sea area for more than half a month. Hey, aren't you the soul of departed? How come you become a real person?" Lin Luoran smiles apologetically and asks Liao and Hu Ji to get on the boat quickly. It is said that rivals in love can best detect each other's attributes. As soon as the beautiful young man Hu Ji sees Mu Tianen, he feels that they are not on the same side. The damn fox who has just humanized knows too little about people's hearts. Master Mu is now thick-skinned. How can he be hurt by a few sharp eyes? He can even change his image in front of Black Tortoise. In the face of Hu Ji's quiet provocation, he is as steady as a rock and smiles at Hu Ji very gracefully. During the free time, Lin Luoran briefly tells Hu Ji what happened in the Lost Land. Hu Ji focuses on the interaction between Lin Luoran and Mu Tianen. He doesn't find any clues, so Hu Ji is relieved. As for Liao, he is very excited when he hears about the agreement of 100 years. Linny, we don't have to rely on that old tortoise. It may not know more about the Tower of Babel than I do. We can leave it and go by ourselves. Besides, all the gods and Buddhas have left the earth. As a cultivator, you don't need to care about it. Lin Luoran feels that Liao is more and more weird. "Uncle Liao, I have agreed. Black Tortoise has analyzed the pros and cons of this matter. Lin Luoran can no longer turn a blind eye to it." Liao murmurs something like, "The stinky tortoise wants to repay the favor." He mutters a few words. It seems that he is very dissatisfied with Lin Luoran's decision to bear this burden. However, his attitude is not as cheeky as before, which makes Lin Luoran feel very uncomfortable. Lin Luoran wants to ask if the fever has any sequelae. However, Hu Ji points to Mu Tianen and asks, "How did you get involved with the evil spirit?" Lin Luoran's face darkens. "Hu Ji, where are your manners?" Hu Ji sees that Lin Luoran is actually on Mu Tianen's side. It can be seen that they share life and death together. Hu Ji feels wronged after being scolded. However, Mu Tianen waves his hand again and again. It doesn't matter. He is still young. In fact, both Hu Ji and Mu Tianen have a pair of peach blossom eyes. However, Hu Ji's appearance is very tender. His peach blossom eyes become frivolous and frivolous. However, Mu Tianen has been polished by time. Even though his appearance has become feminine, people can ignore the shape of his eyes when he is serious. They can only notice the steadiness in his eyes. Mu Tianen's clothes are ragged and he makes a gesture of, "It doesn't matter," with one hand, which makes him look more sincere. Hu Ji is so angry that his face turns pale. However, Lin Luoran notices his broken arm. She probably knows that Mu Tianen has suffered a lot in order to survive. Seeing his blood poison acting up, the pain is no less than the feeling when she was trapped in the blood pool dungeon in the past. No matter how many doubts she has, she should be relieved. "Your arm, I still have some dragon marrow here." Mu Tianen refuses very sincerely. "If one day I want to grow my arm, I will definitely ask you for help. Now let me keep it for the time being to remind myself." Lin Luoran smiles helplessly. "I think you are too different from before. Your experience in these years is really curious." Foppish Mu, who pays attention to appearance and is known for his elegance, can even accept a broken arm. Lin Luoran feels that Mu Tianen is a little strange but also a little refreshing. Mu Tianen nods. "If you want to hear it, I will tell you slowly." Liao's face is a little weird when he hears the interaction between the two. Thinking of something, he actually wants to laugh. The handsome young man Hu Ji is so angry that his cheeks bulge. He looks more and more like a bun. As for Bai Qingxue, she feels the salty sea breeze blowing on her face. She feels that a new life is so beautiful. A group of people return to Dongting City. Before they return home, they feel the tension in the atmosphere. Virtual optical frequencies are everywhere on the street, broadcasting the war situation of Ilak, Bape Alliance, and the Alpha Alliance. Military experts analyze that although the war has not yet affected the Earth Federation, the people should be vigilant. Under the influence of such remarks, not to mention other things, the situation of driving up supplies first appears. The street is full of people rushing to buy daily necessities. The tense atmosphere seems to reverse the situation. It suddenly returns to the panic when the Earth was invaded by the Alpha Alliance before the new era. Lin Luoran frowns. She first contacts Xiaoji and asks about its disappearance for a month. Then she rushes all the way to the Ma's villa. Lu Qingdai stands in front of the villa. As soon as Lin Luoran's ocean of consciousness recovers, Lu Qingdai's thread of faith immediately reacts. The anxiety in her heart disappears. She has been waiting by Dongting Lake for a long time. Ma Shuangshuang finds her when she goes out for morning exercise. Ma Shuangshuang invites her to the villa. Lu Qingdai doesn't dare to act rashly and she is only willing to wait outside the villa. At this moment, seeing Lin Luoran coming back in a mess, Lu Qingdai is shocked. Big events happen one after another, so Lin Luoran is not in the mood to change clothes. Her protean dress was destroyed by the feathers of the golden hawk. It is torn and dirty. If she doesn't refine it again, she won't be able to wear it again. Lin Luoran asks Lu Qingdai to enter the house and asks Colin to find some clothes that Mu Tianin can wear. Lin Luoran has no time to care about their curious eyes looking at Bai Qingxue. She goes to wash up and finds an old dress from hundreds of years ago from the space. Lin Luoran and Lu Qingdai talk about the current situation. Whether it is Xiaoji who can invade the Alpha Alliance's system, or the Lu family who can infiltrate all parts of the Earth Federation like water, or even the Lu family of the Alpha Alliance, they all know more than the superficial analysis of military experts in the interstellar station. In fact, the situation is worse than the report of the interstellar TV. The two alliances in the galaxy are well prepared for the war. The Alpha Alliance is completely caught off guard. Now the rank 3 member star of the Alpha Alliance has fallen, which has a very bad influence. The middle and high-level member stars are constantly noisy, and the war is in a stalemate. Once the situation continues to deteriorate, the Earth Federation will be thrown to the front line as cannon fodder. A rank 1 member star has been dealt with by the Alliance like this. If it weren't for Lin Luoran, the Alpha Alliance would have done this long ago. After all, the other party's reasons for starting the war are, the Alpha Alliance should disclose the secret of longevity, which is obviously aimed at the Earth. The Alpha Alliance launched an invasion war more than 300 years ago. Fortunately, they conquered the Earth. However, they didn't get any benefits. Of course, the decision-makers of the Alliance hate the Earth Federation so much that they have to pay such a price for a few mouthfuls of meat soup. In fact, the Earth Federation has already fallen out with the Alpha Alliance because of Lin Luoran's Miaoyin spell conference. The Earth Federation will not obey the Alliance's orders. What Lin Luoran worries about is that even if the Alpha Alliance is defeated by the two alliances in the galaxy, the enemies the Earth has to face will change from a fierce tiger to 2 hungry wolves. No matter what the situation is, the most important thing is to stabilize the people's hearts. Since the Lu family can't stabilize the situation, I will do it myself. Lu Qingdai blushes because of Lin Luoran's words. She agrees again and again. Lin Luoran thinks to herself that if the war is really approaching, should she kill a few high-level leaders of the Ilak Alliance and the Bape Alliance first to let them understand that the Earth is not easy to deal with? Well, at the same time, she has to transfer the people. Of course, she has to put aside the reconstruction first. Liao feels a little frustrated. Lin Luoran connects with Xiaoji, discusses with the alien barbarian Colin, and discusses with Lu Qingdai. She never asks his opinion from beginning to end. Hu Ji feels that she is very similar to Liao. Lin Luoran throws the two masters aside. She has been entangled with the stupid brain and mortals. What is she doing? At this moment, Mu Tianen comes downstairs in new clothes after washing up. His hair is still wet, and his broken arm can't affect his sexy elegance. Hu Ji is gritting his teeth secretly. Mu Tianen listens to the discussion for a while and laughs. This matter has something to do with me. Yet, you're giving up what's near at hand to seek what's far away. What are you discussing with others? Chapter 539. To understand the relationship between this matter and Mu Tianan, it is inevitable to talk about what happened to Mu Tianan in these years. It was 2027 of the old calendar, the 8th year after Lin Luoran disappeared from the Jiaodong Peninsula to the Penglai Immortal region. Mu Tianan left the country in anger and tried to find a way to make a comeback. Instead of leaving in anger, it is more likely that he was timid in the face of a relationship that was doomed to be fruitless. Although he doesn't like the fact that Lu Zheng messed with Lin Luoran after being engaged to Qin Baojia, he can't deny that Lu Zheng is much better than a mortal like him. If he can be with Lin Luoran, he won't let her try to have sex with him in just a few decades. Lin Luoran will spend the rest of the cultivator's lifespan feeling sad. To his surprise, after he left the country in anger, Lin Luoran didn't get together with Lu Zheng. At that time, he lost contact with the Mu family. The only one who kept in touch was Xian Yuanshan. Of course, Master Mu is very angry about this unfilial grandson. However, there is still Sixi in the Mu family. Master Mu knows that the Mu family specializes in love. With Mu Tianqing supporting the future of the Mu family, Master Mu doesn't care about Mu Tianen, the unfilial grandson who ran away from home. With no one to control him, Mu Tianen lived a degenerate life. He got drunk in bars and gambled in casinos. For a period of time, he even tried drugs. A variety of new drugs didn't anesthetize his spirit, but almost destroyed his body. In the year 2025 of the old calendar, Brother Mu, who used to be surrounded by thousands of flowers, is now at the age of knowing his destiny. His body is destroyed by drugs and he looks old. Although his face has not changed much, his hair is gray. This year, there was still no news about Lin Luoran. No one knew where the news came from that she was lost in the Penglai Immortal region. There was a small speculation in the world of cultivation of Huaxia that Master Lin might have died in the overseas Immortal region. The world of cultivation of foreign countries was ready to make trouble. Of course, they applauded the death of the mainstay of the world of cultivation of Huaxia. When he met Roddick in an underground bar, this vampire was talking about Lin Luoran's death. It seemed that Roddick hated Lin Luoran because Lin Luoran killed his sister. Hearing the news of her death, he was happy and regretful. Mu Tianen can't help but get closer to Xian Yuanshan. Xian Yuanshan also vaguely tells him some news, but Roddick has fewer scruples. Mu Tianen thinks he has done it secretly, but he doesn't know that the bloodline's keen senses have already noticed him. When he left the underground bar, Roddick followed him. Roddick looks good. However, in the Huaxia War, he and Crystal disobeyed the advice of the family and violated the ancestors' order. They attacked Huaxia cultivators without permission and caused irreparable losses to the family. Roddick, who barely escaped, is now not tolerated by the family and is forbidden to set foot in Europe. Only a small, barren country or a powerful country with a mix of good and bad people could accept him. In the dark alley, Roddick fails to suck Mu Tiannan's blood. Instead, Mu Tianen gets in touch with the old bat who is resting in the ring. Without the Taoist root, he can't train qi and cultivate. However, the old bat is very optimistic about his useless physique. The old bat asked him to collect 12 jade tablets for it, and it would teach him the method of body refining and monster cultivation. Mu Tianen doesn't think he will take advantage of an old monster. Collecting 12 jade tablets is true, but the old bat must have other purposes. But it doesn't matter. After all, it is the last life-saving straw. In any case, Mu Tianen can only choose to hold it tightly. The old bat asks Roddick to donate a drop of heart blood. The heart is the most important organ of the bloodline. As long as the heart is still there, high-level bloodline can survive serious injuries. The heart blood of the bloodline is even more precious than that of a cultivator. Of course, Roddick is unwilling. Mu Tianen doesn't know what the old bat negotiated with him, but the young bloodline finally agrees with a grim smile. Many years later, when Mu Tianen is in great pain because of the double control of Roddick and the old bat, he understands what the smile of the bloodline means at that time. In the same way, many years later, Mu Tianen successfully integrates the advantages of the bloodline and discards the defects with the rapid improvement of his personal ability. It makes Roddick vaguely understand why the bloodline forbids the development of descendants of the Huaxia clan. Of course, it is not because the bloodline loves the Huaxia clan, but because of the hidden talent in the blood of the Huaxia clan. It is easy for them to develop descendants of the Huaxia clan, but they are controlled by their descendants. In this way, although Mu Tianen, the old bat, and Roddick have different ideas, they get along with each other in a wonderful balance. Mu Tianen absorbs the heart blood of the bloodline, but he doesn't become a complete bloodline. In essence, he is half human and half monster, but the coldness in his blood makes people have a bloodthirsty impulse. Of course, he doesn't want to live by sucking human blood. The old bat waits for him to lose his drive and then teaches him to absorb moonlight to resist the coldness in his blood. Body refining and monster cultivation. Monsters also like the abundant Reiki on the earth. But before they transform, they prefer all kinds of spirit herbs and spirit medicines that grow in an environment with abundant Reiki. These things can improve their physique and cure the hidden dangers caused by body refining. Before they transform, their cultivation is to absorb moonlight. After transforming, moonlight is very important, and Reiki is also indispensable. Mu Tianan's situation is special. He is a monster cultivator with a human body. He doesn't have the trouble of transforming, and no ancestors have tried this way. Along the way, Mu Tianan's strength soars. In the early stage of the Alpha Alliance's invasion, he cultivates while playing all the 36 stratagems of Huaxia through various soft and hard means. He has collected 7 jade plates. Among the remaining 5 jade plates, the whereabouts of 3 of them are very clear. One is in the hands of the Wen family of Huaxia, the other is in the hands of the Asada family of Neon, and the last one is in the hands of Roddick's former family. The old bat urges him to do it all at once, but Mu Tianen is not moved. He really doesn't see the benefits of collecting jade plates earlier. He just wants the old bat to kill the donkey as soon as it is no longer of use. Of course, his excuse is that there have been too many movements recently. There are various versions of his collecting jade plates in the world of personal ability in various countries. The owners of the remaining 5 jade plates have all strengthened their defense. With his current strength, he is not sure to get all of them. As the old saying of Huaxia goes, it's better not to alert the enemy easily. The old bat is well aware of his delay. Anyway, there are still decades before the next opening of the Bermuda's secret land. The old bat doesn't want to make things too awkward with Mu Tianen. It has many ways to strengthen its primordial spirit. It can't trust Roddick, an outsider, so it has to rely on Mu Tianen who needs its help. However, the Alpha Alliance invaded the Earth and the peace was broken. Wars broke out everywhere on the Earth. During the Moonstar negotiation, the 6th brother of the Mu family, who represented Huaxia, died. Mu Tianen can't imagine how Master Mu feels at this time. Everywhere was in chaos. He quietly returned to China and went to the Fragrant Hill Villa, but he didn't see Master Mu. At that time, the old man was running around the world of cultivation, trying to unite all cultivators to fight against foreign enemies. If possible, it would be better for cultivators of all countries to temporarily put aside their former hatred and work together. 6 cultivators of the Lin family all went to the front line. The youngest one, Cui Wanlu, had become a young girl at that time. Even she didn't choose to avoid the war. The war went on and Mu Tianen knew that even the old bat began to worry. Although it didn't like Huaxia cultivators and ordinary people, it was afraid that the lost land would be affected if the planet under its feet was destroyed. Mu Tianen also joined the army under a pseudonym. He didn't take his life seriously. Although he made a lot of military exploits and didn't embarrass the Mu family, the general trend was declining. How could the defense of the Earth resist the attack of alien civilizations? Whether it was Huaxia or other countries, the level of cultivators was far worse than that of the glorious era of the past. The front line was so long that even cultivators couldn't protect every compatriot. The Alpha Alliance was determined to take down the Earth. Its firepower was getting stronger and stronger day by day. The sacrifice of ordinary people also spread to cultivators. Mu Tianan was terrified. He was afraid that something would happen to his family, but he also had to take care of the safety of the Lin family. He was not strong enough. Since he started to cultivate as a monster, it was the first time that he was so eager for the growth of power except for the pursuit of longevity. The old bat tempted him. The blood of foreign races was waiting for him to collect. The hatred of destroying his family and country naturally needed to be paid with blood. Mu Tianan couldn't remember how he felt at that time when he sucked the blood of a soldier of the Alpha Alliance army. The boiling blood was flowing and rolling in his body. It was faster and purer than moonlight body refining. In the human blood, there was a kind of intoxicating fragrance and different vitality, which made Mu Tianan addicted. Blood disintegrated Mu Tianans will faster than drugs. He was intoxicated with the speed of personal ability enhancement and the bloody way of personal ability enhancement. He fought hard on the battlefield and won the respect of his comrades. However, in private, Mu Tianan often exhausted all his willpower to control himself from quietly sucking the blood of his comrades when they were tired and asleep. As Roddick said, the blood of the Huaxia people was the most attractive thing in the world. Oh, speaking of Roddick, this unlucky bloodline was unfortunately hit by a quantum cannon. Only his consciousness was saved by the bat ring. In the following years, he could only hide in the bat ring and accompany an old bat. The old bat asked Mu Tian to wear the bat ring, which would bring him unprecedented power. The battle line of the Alpha Alliance army shrank to the central area of Huaxia step by step. Countless civilians and cultivators were killed. Mu Tianan had no choice but to wear the bat ring. From then on, in the transaction with the old bat, he was in an equal position at the beginning, but now he was under the control of others. However, it was true that he could borrow the power accumulated by generations of bloodline in the bat ring. When Huaxia cultivators went to the Tower of Babel, he was one of the forces secretly. The other force was Black Tortoise, but he didn't know it at that time. The Huaxia world of personal ability gathered the 5 elements with 5 single-line Taoist root cultivators. Then, with the power of cultivators from various countries, they opened the last defense line of the Tower of Babel to protect the Earth, the Shelter of Gods. Once the Shelter of Gods was launched, the Alpha Alliance army was greatly defeated. However, all the people present must enter the Tower of Babel within 3 days and be transmitted to an unknown place. This was the sequela of the Shelter of Gods. Perhaps the mysterious mighty had expected that when the Shelter of Gods was launched, the Earth would be doomed. That was why he asked all the Earth cultivators who participated in the opening of the Shelter of Gods to be transmitted away. Mu Tianan saw many strangers and acquaintances in the transmission crowd. Cultivators could take their immediate family members with them. The Lin family had 6 cultivators, so they were naturally not restricted. Mu Tianan didn't see many people of the Mu family who were supposed to be transmitted. He thought they would never be able to leave because of the war. He saw Grandpa Mu who had aged a few years, but he didn't see Grandpa Gua who put him on his neck and rode him since he was a child. Mu Tianan didn't dare to think about what this meant. He wanted to leave, but he was discovered by Grandpa Mu. Grandpa Mu smelled the strong smell of blood on him. He had already understood how this grandson survived to this day. However, the most beloved juniors of the old man were Mu Tianqing and Mu Tianan. If Grandpa Mu had found Mu Tiannan's state before the war, he might have killed him himself. However, the war had made this old man lose too much. It was not easy for him to work hard to survive. After all, Grandpa Mu let him go. There was only one thing. When the Mu family asked Mu Tianen to leave with them, Mu Tianen refused and Grandpa Mu didn't agree. Mu Tianen told Grandpa Mu what he could say. He had already planned to stay on the Earth. In fact, Grandpa Mu was worried about what the Alpha Alliance would do after the defeat. He believed that Mu Tianen might have changed a little, but he would never do anything wrong. After all, Mu Tianen was a junior carefully cultivated by the Mu family. Grandpa Mu agreed to let Mu Tianen stay on the Earth. He also personally asked for the jade plate kept by the Wen family and gave it to him. So far, Mu Tianen had collected 8 jade plates, and the remaining 4 jade plates were lost in the war. Hearing that Mu Tianen had watched the Earth cultivators leave, Lin Luoran held her breath and asked, "In front of the Tower of Babel, the Lin family?" Mu Tianen nodded. "Don't worry." At that time, all the Lin family members were there. Although your mother was 100 years old, her face was ruddy and she was healthy at that time. They always believed that you were still alive in the world, waiting for you to find them. Hearing this, Lin Luoran was both sad and happy. She didn't know what to say for a while. Mu Tianen continued to say that although Grandpa Mu didn't kill him personally at that time, he forced him to swear before he left that he couldn't use all the evil means on his compatriots on the Earth. He couldn't forget that he was a descendant of the Mu family and he couldn't stand against the interests of the Earth in the future. Mu Tianen swore with tears. When the cultivators left, the Alpha Alliance was also frightened by this big move. Although the Alliance had many members and great strength, it paid such a heavy price to take down an aboriginal planet just for some secret of longevity that they didn't know whether it could be used or not. The leaders were very dissatisfied with this result. In the end, the Earth Federation was established. The Earth was incorporated into the Alpha Alliance and became a rank 1 member star, which ended the war. The road to rebuild the Earth was very difficult. It was not only short of manpower and materials, but also had the trade blockade of the Alpha Alliance and the harassment of mutant monsters after the war. Mu Tianen was also at a loss for a long time. He wanted to change all this very much, but he didn't know where to start. Wandering in the Alpha Star territory, one day he sucked a noble of the Alpha Alliance who enslaved Earthlings. He accidentally traced back a drop of his blood, and then Mu Tianen found that the situation had changed. The nobleman became his slave. He couldn't inherit his power at all, but he had the characteristic of blood slaves of the bloodline that they couldn't resist their master. Mu Tianen felt a flash of light, which opened his mind. He made a breakthrough accidentally with this ability. In hundreds of years, he formed a big network called Bloodline Club, which penetrated into all fields of the Alpha Alliance. He operated it carefully, and in the past 100 years, he had unconsciously expanded to other alliances. There was only one person in the center of this network, and that was Mu Tianen. The people who weaved the network included nobles, important members of the alliance, interstellar businessmen, and despicable hooligans. Mu Tianen operated it carefully. The Alpha Alliance was aware of it, but they couldn't find the source. It was well known that cultivators on the Earth disappeared together. They didn't expect that a half-demon would stay on the Earth. The Alliance noticed his action, so Mu Tianen changed his strategy from developing members to openly funding. He didn't trust the Alliance, so most of his funding was limited to the Earth Alliance. It didn't have to be a politician. Mu Tianen supported all the people who received his funding, whether they wanted to do research or become businessmen in the future. Until Lin Luoran returned to the Earth. The remaining 4 jade plates scattered in the war were also found one by one. The farthest one had been out of the Alpha Alliance and became the private collection of a high-ranking member star aristocrat. Mu Tianen felt that it was time to free the Earth from the oppression of the Alpha Alliance. Of course, he could live to see the dawn of victory on the premise that he got rid of the old bat and the bloodline first. Over the years, he had done many things that violated his principles for them. The more he knew about the monster race, the more Mu Tianen guessed that the old bat was not only interested in the 12 jade plates. It taught him body refining and monster cultivation because it regarded him as a stove. However, he didn't expect that Lin Luoran was also involved in the secret land. Before he had time to cut off his disgraceful past, he was completely exposed in broad daylight and had nowhere to hide. Except for the obsession in his heart, Mu Tiannan explained everything clearly. Although he was calm, he actually got rid of the biggest burden. As he said, he had been stained with the darkness that couldn't be washed away. If Lin Luoran couldn't accept it, they couldn't even be friends. Mu Tiannan's story was not suitable for everyone to listen to. Others had already found an excuse to leave. 2 cups of tea were made in the yard, and the tea was already cold. The gourd fruits above their heads had already been picked. Several cucumber vines in the corner of the yard were in the harvest period. The fragrance of tea and fruits floated in the small yard of the Ma family. Lin Luoran didn't react as Mu Tiannan expected. She listened quietly and refilled the tea for Mu Tiannan. Then she asked, "Did you violate your promise to Master Mu?" Mu Tiannan shook his head repeatedly. No matter how serious the blood poison was, he didn't dare to forget his promise to Master Mu. He dared to swear that he didn't hurt his compatriots on the earth. Lin Luoran shrugs, "That's it. What you have done is much better than what I have done. Why should I look down on you?" What did the so-called good and evil in the world of cultivation have to do with each other? What Mu Tiannan did to the Alliance was just to repay the slaughter caused by the Alliance in the war to invade the Earth. If they were all innocent, what about the people on the Earth who fell from the sky? How big was the blue planet with a population of 6 billion? Lin Luoran suddenly thought of the sponsorship Mu Tiannan mentioned. She asked, "Do I know any of the people you sponsored? With the help of the Bloodline Club alone, you are so sure that the Earth can become independent by taking advantage of the war of the Alpha Alliance?" Mu Tiannan nodded. "Our ancestors have already concluded that I don't need to do too much. I just need to be the fulcrum of the lever. Of course, you know some people. Pang Xianzhong is one of them. The Han family also has the influence of the club. However, in Han Kueisheng's generation, the club has let the Han family develop freely. In addition, there is an institution that you should be very interested in. Chapter 540. It is confirmed that Mu Tiannan probably has some backup plan. In theory, the war should not affect the Earth. Lin Luoran feels relieved and she can make arrangements calmly. There was always a shortage of manpower, and any perfect plan could be completely overturned because of a small mistake. Lin Luoran decides to make 2 preparations. It would be best if the war does not affect the Earth Federation. What she wants to ensure is that even if it does, ordinary people have a way out. In the afternoon, Pang Xianzhong comes to the villa. Seeing Mu Tiannan is also here, he knows that the misunderstanding between his benefactor and mortal heart fairy should be cleared up. He didn't understand why his benefactor didn't recognize mortal heart fairy when they were old friends. At this moment, seeing the 2 sitting calmly under the tree, he feels very comfortable. The first thought that comes to Pang Xianzhong's mind is a little reckless. They are the people of the same world. After a secret talk, Lin Luoran personally contacts several decision-makers of the Earth Federation for the first time except Pang Xianzhong, including several important figures of the military. They use Xiaoji's private network and have a 4-hour video conference. Their doubts are explained by Mu Tiannan and Lin Luoran. Lin Luoran's proposal is the most favorable for the current situation. In this interstellar war, the Earth Federation should not think about taking advantage of the situation to expand. Preserving what they already have is the top priority. In the evening, Lu Qingdai has arranged everything and Lin Luoran appears on Mount June as promised. Different from the Miaoying spell conference last time, Lin Luoran's fame and status at this time no longer need to be deliberately promoted. The cameras quietly set up on Mount June Island are just to broadcast the picture to more people of the Federation. Lin Luoran goes to the island and talks with Xiaofei and Sheng. At 8 o'clock sharp, she flies into the air on time. She summons a white cloud to take her seat. She is not as grand as her first appearance. Her clothes and dressing are very ordinary. However, when she stands on the cloud and speaks, people even have the illusion of golden light flashing behind her. People of the Earth Federation, I am Mortal Heart. Lin Luoran's voice spreads to every corner of Dongting City by the holy spell. As long as you are a follower of Lin Luoran, the soft but firm female voice seems to be ringing in your head. It is very clear. In places where the sound can't reach, there is also a broadcasting system to broadcast the speech. Xiaoji even plans to hack the most widely watched interstellar channel of the Alpha Alliance so that all the Earthlings in the Alpha Alliance can hear it. I know that you must be in a state of anxiety right now, worrying about whether the war that almost destroyed Earth will strike again. More than 300 years ago, the Alpha Alliance made the people on the Earth homeless. Their homes were scorched and they slaughtered civilians on the Earth. As the saying goes, you will get what you sow. More than 300 years later, they finally get what they deserve. People of the Federation, I apatheticized myself before the new era to guard the waters of Dongting, but I didn't show up when the Earth was in the most difficult situation. For this reason, I blame myself and feel guilty all the time. However, this time I am in Dongting beside each of you. I am with you. The Earth is still too weak. I can't make a decision to let any precious life face the artillery fire. Therefore, what I said to you today is not to encourage you to participate in the war. Some people will ask, should we pretend that the blood feud never happened? Should we deceive ourselves and not think about it? Before we become stronger, I hope you can be safe and worry-free. Leave your precious lives and watch the victory of the Earth in a few years. Our victory does not lie in killing the same life to show our strength. Our victory does not lie in bullying other weak planets to show our strength. Our victory is to let our home planet, Earth, stand upright among the vast stars. It is not a shameful colonial star and it will not be enslaved and oppressed by any alliance. Our victory is that one day, every Earthling from the Earth Federation to the boundless universe will be able to straighten their backs and conduct themselves. Our victory is that one day, you will all be proud of your birthplace on the Earth. For you and your descendants to witness the arrival of this day with their own eyes, I beg you to come back from the stars. Come back to this Dongting city which is a little backward and dilapidated compared with the prosperous alien star. Only with the most united faith can we survive the biggest crisis after the new era of the Earth. Dongting needs everyone, and the Earth also needs everyone. I need your faith to build the strongest protective cover in the world. I hope everyone who has given their faith can take root in this land and be the most indestructible cornerstone. As long as you don't give up, I will not give up either. Unless my Godhead is broken, my primordial spirit is destroyed, and my body is gone, I will guard Dongting with everyone. So, please come back. Looking out of the narrow window, Lin Luoran's figure is clear in the air. Every word she says is not to deceive believers but to do her best to expand Dongting city infinitely. Since there are no gods and Buddhas on the Earth, she doesn't have to adhere to the restrictions of the Taoist field at the critical moment. Those barren lands can be the new territory for the expansion of her Taoist field. As long as she has enough believers and their faith is pious enough, as long as her Taoist field is expanded, the solid Dragon King seal above Dongting City can also be extended. The people are not worried. She, Mu Tianan and others can also fight with the starships that dare to invade. Without the restraint of many civilians, they can fight flexibly and wittily with their strength. If it doesn't work, there is still the Monster Corps in the Green Mountains world. They can attack and defend. The Earth Federation naturally doesn't have to be afraid of this war. Even the two alliances may want to get all the benefits from the Alpha Alliance and the small fish, the Earth, at the same time. Lin Luoran's speech is not long. After a short silence, she hears suppressed crying coming from Dongting City. At first, it is very weak, but soon it converges into a sound wave. All the fear and anxiety that he had accumulated during this period of time were vented out at this moment. The Earthlings were not timid, nor did they lack hot-bloodedness. They only hoped that when they were at a loss, someone could stand up and overcome the difficulties and point out the direction of the road ahead for them. It is said that heroes are created by circumstances. Lin Luoran is the one who chooses to stand up at this time. Along with the cries came the boundless power of faith. In the last defense war of Dongting, Dongting City was safe and sound under the artillery of the Alpha Alliance. They believe in the power of mortal heart fairy, and they also begin to find the faith lost by earthlings because of the decline of cultivation civilization. Lin Luoran's figure floating in the air becomes clear because of the gathering of the power of faith. Her whole body is bathed in the light of faith. Although she doesn't dress up carefully, she looks sacred and inviolable. After crying, she can feel a tenacious qi rising from the ground of Dongting and flying into the sky. The huge power of faith has disappeared into the nothingness. The Dragon King seal of Dongting City becomes soft from solid at the beginning. It seems to be full of malleability. As a god, any speech and great wish made by Lin Luoran in the Taoist field may be proved by heaven, and the law will respond accordingly. If she breaks her promise in the end, those vows will naturally be proved by her one by one. Her godhead will be broken, her primordial spirit will be destroyed, and her physical body will be gone. Lin Luoran's speech over Dongting has been supported by the federal government in both public opinion and action. On the second day after it was broadcasted, Xiaozhi and Mu Tianan made double efforts to ensure that the Alpha Alliance and even other alliances could see it. Since the last Dongting Miaoying spell conference, the power of faith Lin Luoran has received has increased exponentially. After the speech was published, the Alpha Alliance angrily announced that the qualification of the Earth as a rank 1 member star would be cancelled, and the citizens of the Earth Federation who stayed in other member stars of the Alliance would be expelled. Only Han Weya is obsessed with being an elixir apprentice. She really has no attack power. She stays up all day with red eyes in order to prepare various powders useful to mutant monsters. Mu Tiannan's long-cherished wish for many years comes true. This time, he can finally fight side by side with Lin Luoran instead of hiding in the dark. He almost doesn't hold back. He can't even count how many high-level mutant monsters he has killed. If the Federation also calculates the contribution quota for them, Mu Tianan dares to say that he is the second place in the total score. Even Lin Luoran doesn't dare to say that she is the first. This result makes young Hu Ji, who has many auxiliary functions in the battle, very dissatisfied. He smiles all day long so that 2 pounds of mutant pork can be hung on his mouth. Mortal Heart Fairy leads cultivators to the front line. The bizarre and powerful arts of nature give a boost to masters of martial arts and spirit power who are fighting with mutant monsters. In the past, people only thought that 90% of the Earth's area was occupied by mutant monsters, and it was very difficult for humans to win completely. However, now they are forced to a dead end and they have to compete with mutant monsters for living space. They find that mutant monsters can't reproduce indefinitely. Especially high-level mutant monsters also take a long time to form. Killing one means one less. It is not as hopeless as they thought. Monster meat, various materials, and crystallic nuclei are all taken back by the federal government. They record the corresponding contribution points for the people who participate in the battle. Monster meat can be used as a reserve food. Crystallic nuclei can be used as the energy for the operation of the city. They can even be a powerful and effective power for psionic weapons. As long as the mutant monsters are cleared, the infrastructure personnel can start the construction quickly. The expansion of Dongting City is synchronized. Construction robots don't need to sleep and they don't know fatigue. With the cooperation of manpower, it takes less than a month to finish the infrastructure of the first Acropolis. The foundation must be taken into account. The infrastructure must be able to meet the needs of the population explosion. However, the time limit must be met. The experts sent by the federal government have lost a lot of hair. When they see the first Acropolis turn from a barren land to tall buildings, some old scholars are so excited that they faint. The federal garrison sets up layers of defense lines. The technology that they secretly learn in ordinary days is used without reservation. Finally, 2 months later, Acropolis No. 1 announces that the first batch of citizens can move in. At this time, the war between the Alpha Alliance and the 2 alliances has been in a stalemate period. The Alak Alliance and the Bape Alliance have paid a huge price, and they are not satisfied with only getting a little return. They are obviously more willing to completely defeat the Alpha Alliance, and then the two alliances can share the spoils equally. Lin Luoran now feels that every second is precious. She can't wait to reach the realm of having thousands of doppelgangers so that she can handle everything. The federal arrangement for the first batch of returning citizens is very transparent and fair. Every class, the proportion of men and women, the capacity of the old and the young have been taken into account. After the first Acropolis is put into use, the federal government doesn't need to waste too much effort. Everyone can perform their own duties to ensure the daily operation of the city. Liao sees that Lin Luoran is so busy that she has lost a lot of weight. This is too rare for a cultivator. It can be seen how exhausted she is. This makes Liao feel guilty. He wonders if he should tell Lin Luoran the truth. However, before he can speak, the person in charge of the organization mentioned by Mu Tianan before comes back from the outer land and appears in front of Lin Luoran. It is a middle-aged man. The outline of his face is vaguely familiar to Lin Luoran. The middle-aged man claims that his surname is Rong. He is now the person in charge of a Shuangmu Advanced Human Limit Research Institute. Lin Luoran is dizzy because of the long name. However, when the middle-aged man salutes her, she sees a familiar ring. A light green cat's eye stone. Its surname is Rong. Lin Luoran's eyes light up. Mu Tianan adds fuel to the fire. The predecessor of Shuangmu is actually Lin's pharmaceutical factory. His surname is Rong. Haven't you guessed it yet? How can she not guess it? That honest college student Rong Donglin, the one who treated her and Luo Dong to instant noodles on the train. Rong Donglin is a modern scholar who always wants to repay Lin Luoran's kindness with his whole life. Why does he also stay? And his descendants even take over the former Lin's pharmaceutical factory? Mu Tianan said that when he first started the alliance, a lot of financial support came from Shuangmu. As for why the descendants of the Rong family stay, it has to start from the other half of Rong Donglin. Chapter 541. The middle-aged man surnamed Rong is in his 40s. His name is Rong Shiha. As for the mysterious Shuangmu Advanced Human Body Limit Research Institute, when the Earth was incorporated into the Alpha Alliance, Lin's pharmaceutical factory had been committed to the study of ancient prescriptions of Huaxia and led the research of simplifying prescriptions of elixirs in the world of cultivation to serve ordinary people. The Alpha Alliance was interested in the secrets of cultivators, so they were more determined to get Lin's pharmaceutical factory, which had successful technical experience. After Tess moved into Lin's pharmaceutical factory, she made this pharmaceutical group from the center of Chuan province the strongest in the world. The Alpha Alliance also wanted something, so Lin's pharmaceutical factory was particularly eye-catching. According to Tess's arrangement, the descendants of the Rong family who stayed on the Earth took advantage of the time when the Alpha Alliance was hit hard by the shelter of gods. Before the Alpha Alliance could do anything else, they moved Lin's pharmaceutical factory, which was once prosperous all over the world. All prescriptions, research materials, refining equipment, production lines, and other key things were destroyed. The real irreplaceable core of Lin's pharmaceutical factory was installed in the minds of the descendants of the Rong family. They followed the plan arranged by Tess and walked step by step safely. After a few years, the Alpha Alliance began to sell gene enhancement fluid to the Earth Federation. At that time, the descendants of the Rong family had already set up a small laboratory on a remote member star of the Alliance with the wealth and technology accumulated by Lin's pharmaceutical factory. They mainly studied the causes of restlessness in mutant monsters after the great changes of the Earth's environment. They tried to solve the internal problems of Earthlings fundamentally. Researchers led by the descendants of the Rong family found that there was a major defect in gene enhancement fluid. Although people could gain strength temporarily, compared with the ancient martial arts of Huaxia, which had been passed down for many years to develop human potential through both internal and external cultivation, Earthlings who had been injected with gene enhancement fluid had lost the opportunity to learn how to develop their potential correctly. They even speculate that the cultivation civilization that the Alpha Alliance longs for but also avoids may really disappear from the Earth after this battle under both carrot and stick. Since gene enhancement fluid could make people unable to practice ancient martial arts, cultivation, which had higher requirements on the human body, was obviously strangled. This plan was too insidious, including the invasion of the Alpha Alliance. It was more like someone had made a sophisticated plan to specifically target the cultivation civilization on the Earth. If there was no way to master the so-called secret of longevity, then destroy it. Lin Luoran felt that this was very much like the work of the fake scientists. Use was the first choice. If they couldn't use it, they wouldn't let others use the weapons that could threaten scientific and technological civilization. When the fake scientists used the Star Atlas to transmit the message in the Kalahari Desert, Lin Luoran thought that she might have intended to send it back to her home planet. However, she had stayed on the Earth for too long. Interstellar giants like the Alpha Alliance obviously have the technology to intercept a beam of unowned signal waves in the universe. Therefore, decades later, it was not the power of the fake scientists' home planet that attacked the Earth, but the Alpha Alliance, which was the nearest star territory to the Earth. The descendants of the Rong family had deciphered the secrets of the gene-strengthening fluid and felt that they could no longer sit around and wait for death. They changed their name to the Human Body Limits Research Institute and appeared in public again. They did not use the well-known prescription of Lin's in the past. They only improved the gene enhancement fluid and submitted the improved gene enhancement fluid with a higher success rate to the Alpha Federation for testing. Then the institute was recognized. The people who showed up were all locals of the member star where the descendants of the Rong family went. A small institute was recognized because of a breakthrough in research. It was not worthy of the Alpha Alliance's careful investigation. The institute was committed to adding a mild effect to the gene enhancement fluid, which slowed down the speed of gene enhancement and made it safer. At the same time, it would not exhaust the potential of the human body and make the genes of the Earthlings limited by drugs. Almost all the best gene enhancement fluid produced by the institute was sold to the Earth Federation. In the guise of charity, they supported low-level member stars. Other member stars and interstellar agencies also did this kind of good deeds. However, they mainly dumped inferior products, while Shuang Mu bought the best products at a very low price. Every tube of gene enhancement fluid sold by Shuang Mu had a strict number in order to sell it at a fixed price so that the Alpha Alliance would not find out the secret. Because of its low price, it occupied the market of the Earth Federation, which made the Alpha Alliance aware of it. The institute had to temporarily cut off the channel and could no longer sell gene enhancement fluid to the Earth in a short time. It began to keep a low profile, until they got in touch with Mu Tianen. At that time, Mu Tianen just had the idea of building a bloodline club. The Rong family had also heard of this Mu family who stayed on the Earth and refused to leave. However, the situation was too chaotic when the Alliance incorporated the Earth. The two parties had no chance to communicate with each other. They wandered among the stars and finally Mu Tianen found them. At that time, Mu Tianen had just controlled an Alliance politician. Through him, he erased the doubts of the Alpha Alliance. The institute escaped and Mu Tianen also got strong support. In addition to mind control, what Mu Tianen could give to the members was to extend their lifespan, which was really good stuff. The club developed very smoothly. The old bat wanted Mu Tianen to help it collect the 4 jade plates that were lost in the war. Naturally, it hoped that Mu Tiannan's power would be as strong as possible. Therefore, it watched him get involved with the Lin clique, which it hated so much. Roddick of the bloodline was very dissatisfied, but Mu Tianen and the old bat ignored him tacitly. After steady development, Shuang Mu not only entered the upper class of the Alpha Alliance but also penetrated into other alliances. After gaining a firm foothold, the descendants of the Rong family could finally take out all kinds of precious prescriptions that had been covered in dust in the past. Shuang Mu and the club complemented each other. This time, the two alliances formed an alliance to deal with the Alpha Alliance. Mu Tiannan's club instigated the war as a go-between. Shuang Mu even used a precious prescription as bait to make the two alliances believe that the Alpha Alliance really mastered the so-called secret of longevity and tried to monopolize it. After all, The Shuangmu Research Institute was also a semi-official certified institution. The two alliances didn't expect that its predecessor was a pharmaceutical group on the Earth of the indigenous planet where they coveted the secret of longevity. The Alpha Alliance also didn't expect that the secret that had been tightly covered these years would be exposed under its nose. Before Mu Tianan and Lin Luoran confessed, Rong Shiha, the current head of the Rong family, was running around in other stars to implement Mu Tiannan's so-called alliance plan. Of course, he knew that Lin Luoran, whom the Rong family had been waiting for several generations, was back. And she came back in an extremely strong manner. Rong Shiha still remembered the insistence of his ancestors for a lifetime. The Rong family was guarding the property of the Lin family. Now that the master of the Lin family was back, he naturally wanted to integrate all the resources and hand them over to Lin Luoran in person. For several reasons, Rong Shiha didn't rush back to Dongting until he received the message from Mu Tianan. As soon as he made it clear, he asked Lin Luoran to hand over the Shuangmu Research Institute. Lin Luoran couldn't help laughing and asked him what she wanted to do with the institute now. Rong Shiha, a middle-aged man, was a little embarrassed. He thought of Lin Luoran's current identity and also felt that he would be split in half by a large number of believers if he asked Mortal Heart Fairy to manage these trivial things. Lin's pharmaceutical factory was founded because Lin Luoran wanted to bring the benefits of cultivation to ordinary people. She wanted to be a good person when it was in decline and do good things when it was in power. Lin Luoran could guarantee that Lin's pharmaceutical factory didn't make any money from Huaxia people. Now the Rong family had been running for so many years and they had put in much more effort than the Lin family at the beginning. In the hands of the Rong family, the institute still adhered to the original idea of benefiting the country and the people. Lin Luoran felt that it made no difference whether she took back the ownership or not. How could she have the energy to take care of such a big institution now? Lin Luoran was very happy to see the descendants of her old friends again. As a matter of fact, she just helped the little girl named Tess once on the ice field. How could Tess repay her with all her heart? Lin Luoran refused to take over the institute. Rong Shiha figured it out and no longer insisted. Anyway, he was just a manager and the owner was Lin Luoran. After taking care of it for so many years, the Rong family was both careful and worried about the development of the institute. They were afraid that Lin's pharmaceutical factory, which had been passed down for hundreds of years, would be destroyed in their hands. Now the owner was here and they also had a backbone. They were not as restrained as before when they managed the institute. Lin Luoran knew that Rong Shiha was extremely busy, so she asked him to stay for dinner. In addition to Rong Shiha, there were Lin Luoran, the siblings of the Ma family, Han Weiya, Colin, Hu Ji, Liao, Bai Qingxue, and Mu Tianan. There was a gathering vitality cultivator, the Fox King of the Nine-Tailed Mountains, the undead Liao, and Mu Tianan, the big monster. Rong Shiha was trembling during the meal and he was in a cold sweat. However, this meal was the most crowded one in the past 2 months. Although the people here were tired, they were extremely satisfied with a warm dinner. Even Bai Qingxue had a faint smile from beginning to end. The 4 young people who always felt that she was very cold and didn't dare to get too close to her because of her previous identity felt that the distance between them was reduced a lot. The simple-minded Han Weiya even gave a hairy crab to Bai Qingxue, which made the latter stunned. In the past, cultivators did not pay attention to the desire for food. When their personal ability was not high enough, they would replace it with fasting bolus. When their personal ability was high, they mostly relied on Reiki to survive. At most, they tasted spirit fruits and drank some spirit tea. If they were like Lin Luoran and her apprentices who ate fish and vegetables every day, even their masters would think that this cultivator was hopeless and couldn't get rid of the desire for the world of mortals. Therefore, including the hundreds of years before Bai Qingxue became a remnant soul and was trapped in the abyss, it was rare for her to remember such a warm scene of a group of people sitting down to eat and drink. To put it bluntly, she even forgot what the food tasted like. After being reborn, as a female cultivator in the middle period of training qi and without fasting bolus, Bai Qingxue prepared herself for a long time before she began to eat. Unexpectedly, every dish on the table was not harmful to cultivators because the ingredients were from Lin Luoran's space. Long-term consumption was good for her current personal ability. Bai Qingxue finally opened her mind. However, Han Weiya's behavior of taking food. She only remembered that she had such experience when she lived with her family in a small mountain village before she became a disciple of the school. Bai Qingxue is stunned. It seems that she doesn't reject this kind of behavior that arouses her long-ago memory. Thinking of this, Bai Qingxue's look softened. Finally, she showed the relaxation that was in line with her appearance. She was no longer the fairy, who always had a sense of distance and the soul of gathering vitality inside. Perceiving the change of Bai Qingxue, everyone pays high respect to the simple-minded Han Weiya. The simple-minded Han Weiya is ignorant and smiles back at everyone. Her cheeks are stuffed with vegetables, which makes her look silly. Even Lin Luoran feels that a group of black crows are flying over her head at this moment, cackling and giggling. After dinner, Rong Shiha is sent away. The lively Ma's villa is quiet again. Young people are now responsible for their own fields. It is not easy for them to go home and gather together. Mu Tianan is busy during the day and has to rush back to the Rose Hotel to deal with many trivial things in the evening. He promised Black Tortoise that he would protect Lin Luoran for 100 years. Of course, he hopes that she can be more relaxed. Only when he deals with all threats as much as possible can this sentence not be empty talk. Rong Shiha is gone, and so are the young people. Liao drags Hu Ji away in the name of digestion. Lin Luoran doesn't know if it is her illusion, but she feels that this man and this fox have been acting suspiciously recently. They are nervous all day long. Lin Luoran doesn't know what they are discussing. Only Lin Luoran and Bai Qingxue are left in the yard. This place is very close to Dongting Lake. It is full of water vapor and the air is moist. The small yard is filled with the fragrance of various fruits and vegetables. Smelling it for a long time makes people feel refreshed. In this quiet night and such a warm environment, Lin Luoran always has an illusion that she is still living in the small yard of Lin's family before the new era. It seems that in a blink of an eye, a teenager with a school bag will enter the door first. His friend's eyes are covered by long bangs, and his back is straight. He is dragged here by the teenager for dinner. Occasionally, the male master of the family will come back with a few freshly caught fish. The hostess's signature fish slices will inevitably appear in the kitchen that night. At that time, a certain peach-eyed fox was still a greedy and picky little fox. Gold Hawk often caught snakes, which attracted the fat foodie of the Chui family. After all, it has been a long time. Lin Luoran is a little dazed. You really can't see it? Whose idea is it? Bai Qingxue twists a piece of cake mixed with fresh osmanthus flowers and swallows it with tea. She only feels that it is delicious and very tempting. She sighs in her heart. If she also has a portable cave with abundant reiki like Lin Luoran which can shorten the planting time, she is afraid that she will evolve into a foodie sooner or later. Hearing Bai Qingxue's seemingly casual question, Lin Luoran is stunned for a while and then smiles bitterly. I am not blind. He is so dedicated. I am afraid that if I ask him, he will try his best to pick the stars and catch the moon for me. It is a lie to say that I am not touched. In the current situation, how can we talk about love? Bai Qingxue snorts, love is also love. Don't look down on it. Lin Luoran is in a cold sweat. Who taught the old-fashioned Bai Qingxue to speak in such a proud tone? However, she can also understand Bai Qingxue's thoughts. The former White Fairy and Mr. Wuye have been chasing each other for so many years. Bai Qingxue's bitter pursuit at this time has no result. Lin Luoran is happy to see that all the lovers in the world are together. It can be a comfort. Thinking of this, Lin Luoran is also a little confused. Fairy? I called you wrong again. Sister Bai, although I envy you and Mr. Wuye for your sincerity for each other, as you said, it will be a disaster if I can't pass the love. How dare I try it easily? What she doesn't say is that if she doesn't figure out her origin, how can she respond to other people's love? If she waited until the day she fell in love and found out that she was really just a chess piece with an incomplete personality, or a substitute for someone else, How could her so-called sincerity be worthy of the person who wholeheartedly loved her? Bai Qingxue shakes her head and wants to say something. However, Lin Luoran pats her forehead and remembers one thing. Lin Luoran takes out a storage bag and the bright sword from space and pushes them to Bai Qingxue. I haven't had a good rest since I came back from Lost Land. Today, I finally remembered to return them to their original owners. The former is the secret treasure that she and Bai Qingxue once went to Misty Peak to take out. Most of them are top-grade spirit stones. At this time, Bai Qingxue's personal ability has fallen to the bottom. If she wants to start from scratch, spirit stones are indispensable. As for the bright sword, it was originally given to White Fairy by Yi Zhao. It has a special meaning, so Lin Luoran can't use it anymore. When returning it, she has erased the brand on the sword. At this moment, the bright sword has become a masterless sword again. Bai Qingxue refuses to take it. You don't have to worry about my personal ability enhancement needs. The storage bracelet left by Yi Zhao has prepared all kinds of materials. The consumption in the early stage of personal ability enhancement is not the same as that in the later stage. The things in the bracelet are quality rather than quantity. With what I need now, it is not a problem for me to gather vitality again. I have already said that these spirit stones are for you. As for the bright sword, Lin Luoran nods quickly. Even if I accept the spirit stones, the bright sword is a token of love from Mr. Wuya. I can't take it. You don't have to worry about the snow sword. I will find a chance to get it back. I won't let the blue phoenix fly alone. Bai Qingxue finally nods. She doesn't want other things except for the bright sword. She has placed too many beautiful feelings on it. She will refine a better flying sword and exchange it for the snow sword from Baojia. At the same time, by the Dongting Lake, the leaves of a long leaf willow are almost pulled out by Liao. The beautiful young man rolls his eyes. Anyway, you are a person who once proved the Tao. Can't you have the quality of caring for the environment? Liao glares at him and murmurs, animals also have the quality. The world has really changed a lot. Hu Ji is furious. He really wants to scold that their whole family is animals. Thinking that he can't beat the stinky old man in front of him now, he changes from scolding to laughing. If you have the ability, you can say this to that half-monster. Liao thinks that Hu Ji is too childish and ridiculous. He is always trying to provoke Mu Tianen. What good does it do for him except to set off Mu Tianen? Liao sighs. I was worried when I lost my memory. I was even more worried when I got it back. Do you think I should remind Linny not to worry about the mess of the earth? Hu Ji shakes his head. You see, she has spent so much effort. She can even hold back from meeting her family. How can she give up easily? Liao sighs. But once she really succeeds, her agreement with that person, I just want her to have a chance to really live for herself once. Hu Ji snorts. What a bullshit agreement. Go to the person who made it. Can't you force her to buy or sell? Liao looks at him as if he is a fool. Hu Ji is not convinced and rushes to him. The two soon wrestle with each other without caring about their image. The fish and shrimps by the lake flee in panic. After talking for a while, the topic finally deviates from the main topic. It becomes Liao and Hu Ji ridiculing each other. As for whether to confess the truth or not, alas, let's wait. Zhongdu City. Baojia, who has been an ordinary person for a few months, hands in today's trophies. She takes a piece of mutant beast and returns to her rented apartment. She is delayed for some time today. When she returns home, she sees that the caregiver is obviously relieved. Sorry to bother you. I'm a little late today. Baojia has a good attitude. The middle-aged woman nags her about Chao's situation today. When she opens the door and wants to leave, she remembers something. She points to the paper on the table and says that it is sent by the community staff. The caregiver's tone is envious. After closing the door, Baojia picks up the paper. It is a check-in application. It turns out that the staff of the area where she lives sees that she is a young girl with a demented child, so they give her a place in the second batch of people moving to the Acropolis. Baojia looks at the application form for a while. She crumples the paper and throws it into the trash can. Then she goes into the kitchen as if nothing has happened. She makes a simple and nutritious dinner for two. After patiently feeding it to the silly Chow, Baojia cleans up the kitchen. It is very late. After taking a shower and lying on the bed, she can't fall asleep. Yes, she has recovered her previous memory in the Green Mountains world. First, there are some sporadic fragments. The impact of two different identities and different lives makes her flee. But the farther she escapes, the clearer those memories become. She remembers that she lost her parents when she was young. Grandpa gets out of the Hongqi car and picks her up. Then he gets in the car and goes to the villa in the capital. He doesn't say a word all the way. She is too scared to speak. When she gets home, the tough grandpa calls her Baojia and buries his head in her neck. Hot tears make her cry. Commander Qin coaxes her in a hurry. After crying, she is extremely dependent on the only family left. She follows Commander Qin wherever he goes. The iron-boned old soldier doesn't know how to coax a child. Whenever he is free, he studies cooking. The older generation is stubborn. If they want to raise a child well, they must let her eat well. Except for the only daughter who has passed away, her grandpa has no other bloodline. After Baojia becomes sensible, she changes her surname to Qin. Later, she goes back to the center of Chuan province to go to school. She makes friends and has the first real friend who is not a fair-weather friend. Commander Qin is transferred back to Chuan province. She also stays. Commander Qin doesn't force her to inherit the family business. He says that she is a girl and the life of a soldier is too hard. He drives her to learn her favorite jewelry design. What happens later? She never regrets the choices she has made. What she regrets is that if she had known that the life of Qin Baojia would be asleep in her early 30s, she should have accompanied the stubborn old man more. She should have joined the army and become a female general who could make the old man proud. She has the ability now. She can fly, but Commander Qin can't see her anymore. You're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.